everybody. Welcome to episode 73 of our Nintendo podcast. That happens every week. It's called Directly to You. I am AJ. I am joined by Parker. You can't see either one of us because Google is dumb and they stopped us from using Google Hangouts. You know what's messed up though? We're currently on a Google Hangout, but we can't stream it. So There's no way to record that until we figure out a different solution. Anyway, you can help us do cool stuff and possibly think of better solutions by becoming a member on our YouTube channel, fanatixfour. You know, youtube.com/fanatixfour. You can go there, pay $4.99 to get loyalty badges, emotes, gaming time with us, free Switch keys from time to time, access to the supporters-only Discord, the whole shebang. You know what I mean? You can also subscribe at twitch.tv/fanatixfour. For the same price, I think subscriptions are $4.99, or your Twitch Prime sub, which you get if you're an Amazon Prime member, which you could link to your Twitch and get a free sub to take all of Jeff Bezos' money and give it to us. So when Google decides to shut down Google Hangouts and we just can't communicate, we'll have another solution. You know what I mean?
True.
But all jokes aside, how you doing, Parker?
I'm doing all right. You can't see my face, so you can't tell if I'm lying or not.
I can. He's lying through his teeth. There's a giant hole right in his shoulder. He lost his shoulder.
Yeah. No, I'm doing great. Looking forward to the weekend and all that stuff.
You were ripped.
I was gone last week. And I should say, hi ho, Max. Hope you're doing well.
Oh yeah,
and whatnot.
I forgot about that. We don't talk to Max. Because
apparently I sound like Kermit the Frog.
We don't talk to Max anymore.
Whatever.
Because he unfollowed me on Twitter. So we don't talk to him anymore. He's canceled.
Too late. I already talked to him.
But anyway.
It was fun though. It was good. It made my week a little bit smoother as far as like podcast listening, because I had just one extra podcast that I could listen to.
Listen to the podcast now.
Because again, I'm not going to listen to the podcast that I'm on, but at this point I got to listen to it, and it was a pretty busy weekend or whatever anyway. So by the time I actually finished listening to the podcast, it was probably Tuesday at some point, and so I just messaged you and Max, because I just got to the part where you said like, oh well, Parker's not here, so I'll just imagine Kermit the Frog or somebody saying in Kermit the Frog's voice. And I was like, what in the world are you talking about? But apparently, sound like Kermit the Frog. So
did I say that? I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that. Max said that.
I didn't say that. I haven't said Kermit the Frog in 12 years at least.
Can't say that anymore. You just said it.
True.
What a sad time.
I ruined that streak.
You sure did. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm back. I don't know if nobody saw on Twitter at the same time or just a little after you guys were recording the podcast, my car got in a wreck. Yeah, so that was a thing.
That was bad timing.
It was, yeah.
Because I didn't even read the tweet. Like I just saw the picture and I was like, oh my god, do I have to pull this episode? Like that would have been so rough, dude.
Yep. Because like Parker's dead. Oh, Parker actually
is.
He might be dead.
No.
It was
close to it.
It was a thing. So it was like it was a parking lot thing. Like it really wasn't a big deal.
You're not allowed to say parking lot. It's not. You're not allowed to say it.
Then I didn't say it
because it's part of your name. You're not allowed to say your name as a person, place, or
Is this like the rules of taboo or something like that, or like categories or whatever? I don't know how categories works. But it's all fine now. We're in a rental car. Their insurance covered it because it was definitely the other guy's fault. So now I'm just having a normal old week. Just going about my business.
That's good. You have a lot of problems with that sort of stuff. It's like
apparently
it's like 1 month your freaking half your house is underwater or something.
Yep.
And then your car explodes.
It's not like this kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time, except for now. Recently, all of a sudden it is.
Now that you have like a weekly public commitment, it's like, no, we're going to just throw wrenches in that,
Pretty much.
And people will wait to listen to your voice every week. We're going to make that as difficult as possible.
They'll just listen to the Muppets.
True.
What have you been playing, AJ?
I've been playing Fire Emblem, and an interesting turn of events. Because, like, I always intended to try it, which was why like the whole thing of like, oh, I'll just like use your account however it happens. If Nintendo sends it, if you buy it, whatever, I'll just use your account and try it out. Didn't expect to like it. And like once I liked it, and I was like, man, I already put like freaking 8 hours into this or whatever. Like, I don't want to start over. Because I was like, I never intended to buy this game. I did not intend to buy it. And then by the time I was like, I like this enough to buy it, I'm too far in. But I don't know if I like, because another idea that's been floating around in my head is if I finish this house, then I start the new house and buy it. But
there you go.
Do I like it that much? Is the
Enough
question.
to play a second house. That's a great question. Yeah, there's a bunch of games that I feel like I've man, I'm trying to think, like done something along those lines. Essentially started a new game plus because I was like, I'm gonna do this again, and then got like 2 hours into the next playthrough. It was like, I don't really care. I'm done. I'm good. Like, I've seen this before.
Plus, you got like an Astro Chain, and like there's more games coming out. I'm not like. Come on, man.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a bunch of games that I downloaded from your account that I've thought about starting to play, but the ones that I'm most interested in, I also don't want to, I just don't want to run into the same problem where like, I haven't started up Bayonetta yet, but like part of that's because like, what if I like it and I don't want to have to start it all over again? So yeah, I know exactly.
I think, see, the thing is like, and I was, this is another, I had a lot of ideas this week. That maybe we should look into do like swapping the home consoles, because usually when I play a game, it's online. So it will make more sense if you have the local access to like whatever games, so that you can just stay offline and you'll be good, and then I'm just online.
Smart.
That's the theory.
That's the theory. Yeah, because that's the... I mean, honestly, besides what, Wednesday, Thursday? Thursday. That day. So, okay. People, again, may have seen this a little bit very vaguely on Twitter.
If you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/AMcRaeJR, twitter.com/ParkerDeal.
That's us.
It's in the description.
So AJ was like, I said something about Fire Emblem, and AJ was like, well, I'd like to be playing it right now, and I was like, well, you can, because I'm not playing. And you were like, no, last time I saw you playing, you were playing Deltarune or whatever. I was like, oh, man. So my coworker, Billy, like had to bring his son to work. And then like 30 minutes into the workday was like, hey, did you, to me and my friend Mitch, was like, did either of you guys bring your Switch? I was like, yeah, I've got mine. And so like brought it. And this is also why I was like, we need folders, because I had to I went through and organized it by most time played, because like I assumed any of the games that I downloaded from your account I just haven't really played very much, so I was like, anything above ukulele, go for it, unless it has a Switch cart thingy. But at any point I was on airplane mode, and like at some point he turned it on online, and he played through like 8 different games trying them out, and I was like, all right, whatever. So all that to say, that's what happened. At some point he just went online, and then in my lunch break I was like, I kind of want to play Fire Emblem, but I don't want to kick a little kid off my Switch at the same time. Like, I totally could because it's mine, but
yeah, true.
I don't know. It feels a little something.
Yeah,
so I
it's
just
like,
didn't.
Get off a Switch.
This is grown-up time
like,
now.
That's the same way that I felt when it was like you're like, oh, kids play. I'm like, okay, like it's not like I wasn't like freaking, and that's why I was like, obviously I was joking, because like even if it was you, you're like, oh, I want to try out like the online Fire Emblem stuff, whatever, dude. Like, this is your game,
which I've not touched for the record at all.
So it's like I was just gonna play Smash Bros anyway, which we'll get to. But that's what I did. I was like, I'm just gonna get on Smash Bros. But apart from that, I'm playing a lot of Fire Emblem, and it's strange. It's weird. It's weird for me to be playing a lot of Fire Emblem, because I don't usually play games like this. I don't. And
it's just
it's a good game, man. It's a good game, and it's like I want to make the video where it's like come on, Game Freak, dude. Like, look at Fire Emblem, man. There's some stuff. There's some stuff that you can learn from this game. And like, do I want to make that video? I don't know.
Yes. Well, it's hard. I feel like at this point, just with the kind of culture around Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's tricky to do that, because like I know where you come from when doing this.
I think that makes it even more topical.
I mean, oh,
It
well,
might
yeah,
make
it
people,
does.
it might make people angry, but like, whatever, dude. I don't care. Since when I care about making people angry?
That's true.
N64 is garbage. What else do I say that makes people
I'm
mad?
not saying that because I agree. I'm saying because I know that's true
agree,
about you.
You agree.
Yep.
Oh, Ocarina of Time, bad game.
Yep. There you go.
What else? What else is something I say that makes people mad? There's got to be more stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's
I don't know what it is
stuff.
off the top of my head, but there's stuff.
People in the comments, let me know what I've said that makes you angry.
Diablo, all the games being nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff. 100% nerd stuff.
Including the game that you're playing right now.
Nerd stuff. 100%.
Yeah.
Truth.
It's great.
Truth.
But yeah, I've also been playing a lot of Fire Emblem. I am finishing up, or I just finished the battle at the end of chapter 4 for whatever that's worth. So
I don't know what that means.
I don't.
Are you still part 1?
Yes, I'm still part 1.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're a baddie.
So,
you're a little baddie.
Yeah. Where are you? Are you in part 2?
I'm in part 2.
Ooh,
I'm in like, I don't know which because like he says part 1, whatever the heck the name is, that is like, and then he says a whole bunch of stuff that's not like directly related to whatever it's like. I'm like, all right,
I think
like,
one of the. I think so. It's part 1, and then the second bit I think is the name of like essentially the season or whatever, or the month. And then the other one,
it's like a theme. It's like a theme. He's like part 1, whatever the name of the chapter or part is, and then it is like whatever the theme, like the general, like the takeaway for what's going to happen in this chapter or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, like, because it doesn't say part 1 chapter whatever. It just says part 1 whatever.
The only place that it says the chapter that I've noticed is when you go to the save file. It'll say at the bottom, it'll say chapter 4 or whatever. So
this is another thing that I'm annoyed with this. There's a couple things. One, I accidentally picked casual and it upsets me. So every time that like somebody dies, I just start over the whole chapter. Because like I feel like that's just as big of a punishment, because I feel like people do that anyway. They're not like, oh yeah,
absolutely.
That person that I like a lot dies, I'm just going to ride with it. Like, no, you're starting over. But
although Max did tweet that out. Max was like, I had somebody die, it was the last thing in a battle, I went with it. I'm surprisingly okay with like fine. I was like, all right, I would have started again.
He didn't like them that much.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so like that's upsetting, because you can't go back and say, oh, I feel like I'm better at this game. Let me go to, because like, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to do the classic mode. Like, that's what I wanted to do. So it's like, I wasn't reading it. I was just going through and picking stuff, and I assumed that the default would be classic. I mean, casual. So I moved over and was like, okay, classic. I didn't read it. The default is casual, and I went to, so it's like, so annoying. So that's dumb. Before I started playing the game, everybody was like, oh, the text is real small and stuff like that. I'm like, the text is real small.
Text is real small.
It's real small.
Very accurate.
So that's been an issue, and I've been playing mostly in docked mode. But like, as I've figured the game out and all that stuff, I play more in handheld mode from time to time. Yeah. Because like, I don't need to read. I already know what I'm doing at this point.
This is one of those too where there's a number of games that I'm kind of surprised by the combat. It seems like they would implement touch controls for some parts of it, just because why not? You know, like especially in the combat, I mean, or really just only in the combat, where it just like would make sense that you could just like bleep bleep bleep. I don't know. Was the 3DS games? Were they?
I'm pretty sure they were touched, but I don't remember. The last one I played was Awakening in like 2013.
Yeah.
It's like half a decade ago. It's more than half a decade ago.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, so that's one of those things. I mean, it doesn't matter at all. Like, I've still played the normal. I've honestly been playing it more docked than I have handheld, but just handheld, it just would make sense to do it that way. It just
feels like a game, because of the text thing, it just feels like something I don't want to play handheld. Right. Because it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, my vision's not good enough for that. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that's annoying with stuff like this, where whenever somebody says like, oh, the text is too small, and then somebody inevitably is like, it's fine for me. It's like, okay, but I don't have your vision. All right. So like, who cares if it's fine for you? I didn't ask you that. But apart from that, it's like, it's weird because it's like, it's a strategy game, but it feels like the game that I can play to turn my brain off. Like, it's just like I'm almost on autopilot with it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of turn-based anythings, I feel okay about, like I don't know, like especially combat, like watching a show with it or something like that, and looking at it for a little bit, because you only have to, and then just like looking at the show and waiting, and then coming back to it whenever I want to, as opposed to Smash or whatever, where you have to actively pay attention the whole time, or that kind of thing.
It's ironic because everybody's like, we have this ongoing debate with Justin about the benefits of turn-based, and it being like, I like it being more strategic and blah blah. I feel like I am strategizing significantly more when I'm playing Smash Brothers than when I am playing this game.
Yeah, I
it's
guess
like,
it also depends.
I take this guy has far range, he doesn't have far range, so let me use this guy to attack that guy and he can attack me back.
Yeah, it also I think depends on how like completely efficiently you want every battle to go, which like for me is kind of I generally do like
but I don't think it takes that much work, because it really is just a thing of like, oh, this guy has this combat art that like is super effective against this type of enemy and stuff. It's like matching colors and shapes. That's what it is. It's like
so some of the strategy with this one that I think is a thing is just overall like kind of macro strategy as far as like who you want to recruit, which skills you want to level. Like that's something that I feel like I don't know how good of a job I'm doing at that. Like I feel like I'm doing okay, but like I don't want to have used up all my level up points for somebody in areas where it's like
you won't really know, because you won't know what units you'll need to combat the things that the game throws at.
So it's like that's a thing. I mean, that comes with it, and honestly I like things like that at the same time, because like I like weapons in games where I've said this before on the podcast, but like where weapons aren't just 100% better. Like this one has +3 of everything, and this one is +2 of everything. Like I like it to where you have to kind of strategize based on what that person's good, min-maxing.
That's the thing that I don't like about turn-based RPGs overall, is because it inevitably just turns into like, pick the strong move, like it's not like this is better for this reason. It's like whatever is your best move, use that, because that's how you'll win. Like
that's honestly and like that's why I really like Golden Sun, is like because the weapons in that
nerd stuff.
It's so good. The weapons in it are like, I mean, there's plenty of games that are like this, but this was just the first one that I experienced that was like that, where some of them are just like, wow, this one really has a weakness in this area, but it's really good at this other thing. So like you have to then think about like, do I want to do something that's kind of even across the board, or something that's, kind of off balance, but can actually help in other kinds of situations. Those kinds of thoughts, are just fun things to have to work through. But yeah, I feel the same way in this, where it's tricky to think about it, but I also enjoy that it's not just everything is 100% better, whatever. That is all.
So much like Pokemon, the gameplay is not the thing that makes me like this game. It's because like I care about the characters, and like the theming is like fine, and like all this stuff, and I'm like, that's what like drew me in, because the gameplay is like mind numbing. It is, sorry about it, but like like the like the writing's good, and like the voice acting's good, and we'll get to that because there's a question about a Q&A, foreshadowing 101.
That's right.
But like that's what made me like this game, and that's what made me like the idea of Fire Emblem in the first place, because like if you pick the right mode, it inherently like pulls on your heartstrings of like, oh, you grew to like this character, and it's just gone, rip, dude. Like, I do like that they have. I know like some hardcore fans, and I will say I do like the gameplay. I enjoy it, but I know some hardcore fans are even for me. Like it feels like I'm playing chess, which is like okay, but like I'm not. If somebody was like, which game if you want to have, like, you have to have fun or else you're going to die right now. I'm not picking Fire Emblem because it's not fun in that way,
That's funny. What was I even saying?
You said something about you like the gameplay because you're a nerd, and
that's correct. Man, I don't remember what I was saying at all. But in any case,
it's all that mind-numbing Fire Emblem,
It's I do like the gameplay. That wasn't my main point. That was just a defense for it. Oh yeah, okay. Because so, you know, there's the casual mode and stuff, but then also even within the classic mode, you've got divine pulse stuff.
Yeah.
So you can like turn back time.
Which,
and I
like,
know some like hardcore fans are probably mad about that,
Yeah.
but I think it's great because
It
there's
just
been a couple
makes,
times.
like, that's even more the reason why I'm mad that I accidentally picked casual and I can't
Yes.
go backwards. Like, that's so
Yep.
stupid. It's so dumb that you can't go backwards.
Because divine pulse is honestly
Or
like
forward,
that's
I
like. I don't know, it just fixes the slight human error stuff that's just gonna happen here or there, and where it's not like you misplanning, it's just you misclicking or whatever, like accidentally, you know. There's been a number of times where I'm like, oh no, I didn't click man. Well, not a number of times, but like maybe two so far. But I know it's gonna happen again. So it's nice to have the option to just like, I mean, I'll let it play out and just see how it turns out anyway most of the time. But then if it's like, no, yeah, that really was a bad decision that I didn't even intend to make, then I'll take it back. There were a couple times, or one time specifically I'm thinking of, that like I didn't mean to move a guy in a place and I moved him into place, and then he would have been fine except for everybody attacked him. And one of the guys had like a double hit and both of them critted, and he just died. Like he died at 0%, like, or 0 HP exactly. And I was like, yeah. So that was frustrating, but
Rip, dude.
that is all.
Speaking of guys and whatnot, we picked different houses.
True.
Picked the Black Eagles.
Yep.
And I went in and I was like, well, I didn't know much about this game because like whenever they talk about it on Direct, I'm like, nerd stuff, and I just tune it out. So like I'm like learning of the differences between these houses as I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
And like initially just from like the basic like description of the houses and stuff like that, I was like, golden deer, that's what I'm gonna do, I'm picking that one. And then like I heard him, I was talking to him and he just sounds sketchy, and I was like, I don't like that. So then I was like, what about Blue Lions? And he also was like, I don't like you either. So I went with Black Eagles. Yep, that's what I did. And
so yeah, my friend Mitch thought he was going to go Black Eagles and he went Blue Lions. I thought I was going to go Blue Lions and I went Golden Deer. So like we all thought a different one and went another different one.
Max did the same thing. I think the same exact thing as you, where you said you thought Blue Lions, right?
Yeah, I thought Blue Lions, but I went Golden Deer. I think he went Black Eagle, he said.
Okay. So yeah.
But yeah, it was, for me, I don't know, like same kind of thing where like I thought one but kind of went in with just an open mind anyway. And Blue Lions, like they all seemed like, I don't know, a bit maybe pretentious for my liking.
Yes.
Like not quirky enough for what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like some of them seemed really down to earth, but like just kind of boring down to earth for that was just the impression
like,
I got.
I liked a lot of the Golden Deer people, but like, what is his name? Claude.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, you seem sketchy, dude. I don't like it.
He's really good. I can't remember what he was like on the intro bits, but like once you actually get into it with him, he's pretty cool. But one of the Golden Deer dudes is just his name's Lawrence, which I'm sure you've seen him around, and he's just the worst but the best. He's like, if you've seen Parks and Recreation, he's like the John Ralphio.
Okay.
Except, I mean, in the sense that, so John Ralphio is a character that like he's kind of awful, but also is like roll your eyes so hard that you love him kind of a thing.
So he's like Bakugo?
Yes, pretty much like Bakugo,
right.
like that kind of a thing. And again, very different directions, but same like kind of placement of character. So where he's this. So Lawrence he's a noble and he thinks he's a ladies' man and he's like always hitting on girls or whatever, and they're always like, please get away from me. And he's just convinced, he's like, well, there must be something wrong with them. And like, no, there's not.
I know people like that.
Worst.
I know people like that.
So, but it's fun because I feel like all the characters have flaws that are going to get kind of worked out over time. Like through conversations with them, they already seem to be maturing a bit. And that's really fun.
Same. See, the thing is, like, I have things to say, but like I don't want to say them because I don't know how far everybody is in this game. I know you're not as far as I am, so I can't say the thing that I want to say because I was like, I tweeted about this. And everybody thought that, which good information, like that tweet gave me information that I didn't think it was going to give me. But like when I tweeted, everybody was like, "Oh my God, is there a fanatixfour announcement? What's going on? Like, what are you announcing?" I'm like, "I'm not announcing anything." But I don't want to say what I'm talking about because I don't want to like spoil anything for anybody. Yep. So it's like just stuff happened. I did not see that coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't yet, but I will.
No, you will. You'll know.
Man, I would like to be as far as you. Man, there's been so many times this week that I'm like, I just want to play Fire Emblem, and then it has not let me. Like on Tuesday, I had to make the video, or no, Wednesday I was making the video, and like yesterday we ended up going out to dinner with some people and stuff, and I was like, I kind of want to be playing Fire Emblem.
So I lucked out this week because like I was going to be in the same position as you as far as the video goes, but the Smash Brothers stuff was happening, so I was like, I'm just not even gonna, because like I already know what's going to happen with that. 9 times out of 10, either I'm going to go with the Smash Brothers video and it's all going to be wrong or whatever, and then everybody's going to be commenting like this wrong because blah blah blah. So like, or it's going to be about something completely different. It's going to be drowned out in the algorithm for people looking for Nintendo stuff, but it's not the Nintendo stuff that I'm talking about. So rip. So I made the Smash Brothers video and I was like, that works out because now I get to play Fire Emblem. So I played Fire Emblem like the whole time that I would have been making a video. Because, like, I figure I'm doing it. I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. So it's work, kind of.
Yeah. Counts.
So it's like, I'm just going to play this. And then I did that. And then the day after that, most of that day up until 4 or whatever, I was working on the Smash Brothers video. And I was like, I guess I'm playing Fire Emblem again. So I played Fire Emblem up until Hero came out. Yep. And then I was gonna stream, but then it was being weird and not letting me download it, and then it was just a whole thing. Plus, I did it looked like not a lot of subscribers got our video or my video right when it came out, or the day that it came out. Like people are coming in after the fact, like the mainstays, the people that we always see in the comments, like the Jordan the Best and stuff like that. Like I'm seeing their comments like now. Right, so like I know they didn't see the video that yet, so it was like it was really no point in doing that. But I did stream kinda because Bob played it. But we'll talk about that when we talk about Smash Brothers.
We will.
I was all that to say, I played a lot of Fire Emblem, and I didn't expect it at all.
Yep.
I didn't expect. I thought I was going to put 2 hours max into this game and never think about it again.
Yep. Just last question or whatever on it before we move on to other things. Are you like, I don't know. I feel like I'm spending all of the time that I can, and like when I'm going exploring or whatever the monastery, like talk to every single person, do every single like all that stuff. Are you doing all of that, or kind of like doing the things that hit
not
the highlights?
Okay. At first I was talking to everybody, like, and then it just got to a point where, like, I'm just coasting. I'm like, all right, I know what you're about. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to do this thing. I know that this isn't worth my time. So I'm just going to do like my routine of like, okay, I want to do X, Y, and Z on this day, and then go on with my life. So right now, like, well, I can't talk about that either. But like you have options to do different things on different days and stuff like that. And I have like set days of like, okay, this is like that. Like everybody's freaking motivation is maxed out, so I can do this other thing. So I'm going to do that instead. And I do that.
Nice.
So I got it down to a science.
Nice.
Speaking of my brain just being off, where it's like, okay, this is a day where this is an explore day, and this is a day to do that other thing, and then this is a seminar day, stuff like that.
What a time. Yeah, Fire Emblem's cool and all, but you know what else is cool? The Game Boy.
30-year-olds, they're cool. Except for
30-year-olds are cool.
Bob's not cool. He's the uncoolest 30-year-old that I know.
Wow. What kind words. But yeah, 30 years ago, the Game Boy came out. It was 30 years ago Wednesday or something like that. I don't know. And so people were happy about that. And people have already had lots of conversations about the Game Boy stuff in and of itself, retrospectives and whatnot. But AJ had the idea of this thing.
I mean, you had the idea, but like I just made it an idea that
different variation, I suppose.
Dumb, you know what I mean?
I actually do know what you mean. But yeah, my original idea was we talk about what games would come to the Game Boy Classic, but AJ's pretty sure that's never gonna happen, and I'm
You're
probably
also
not.
sure because Reggie said it, and he's our best pal. You know.
Yep.
You telling Reggie he's a liar? Because I'm
not. No, never. So, but instead, we assume, the Game Boy games are going to come to Switch Online the same way the NES games did, and probably September at this point, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out when we find out. But if so, what games are going to come? I've got a little list that I came up with. And
so are we limiting this to regular Game Boy?
Nope. Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Okay, because regular Game Boy is kind of garbage.
Kind of garbage.
For being honest.
I was listening to the Wolf Den where they were talking about it and stuff, and I was like, there's not as many heavy hitters as you'd think. Like, it's kind of a lot off. And even thinking back to the games I played on the Game Boy, like, some of them are pretty standard one. I mean, I was mostly playing Game Boy Color games when I kind of really got into it, because it was like, I don't know, 97 at that point or something like that. I don't know. But the standard Game Boy games that I had were kind of like, I think there was one called Ninja Boy, which was some weird game. I don't know. So nevertheless, Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yep. Okay.
Which are kind of the same, but kind of different.
So you got to do, obviously, Pokemon. You got to do that.
There's a whole bunch of Pokemons. So, like, I think Pokemon Red and Blue from launch, but then Yellow comes later, and Gold, Crystal, and Silver come later, too.
True. See, the thing, though, that is, like, rough, is, like, that's not a decision Nintendo can make.
Yep, you're not wrong.
These are, like, the ones that, like, are obvious and should happen, but probably won't.
Yeah.
So we gotta get those ones out of the way. So like, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal. They should come, but they probably won't. We might get Pokemon Puzzle League.
Yep.
And
Pokemon Pinball.
And the Pokemon Trading Card game.
Honestly, I think
Puzzle League's an N64 game. I don't know if they did a Game Boy one.
I'm pretty sure there was. When I looked up Game Boy games, one of them was Pokemon Puzzle League.
Okay.
So the internet seems to disagree with you.
I mean, there you go. Not really. I'm just checking, I'm just, covering my bases because, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because I didn't freaking play that game.
No, I didn't either.
I played it on N64.
I did play Pokemon Trading Card game, though, a lot. And
I don't see it on here. It's not on here. You lied to me.
Oh.
It's only on N64. Pokemon Puzzle League, N64.
I just spelled Pukemon accidentally. Game Boy.
Dumb.
I'm looking it up. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge is the Game Boy Color game.
Oh, that's the Game Boy one.
We were both halfway there.
So we'll probably get some stupid crap like that. I feel
like Pokemon Trading Card game even would be one of the ones that comes like several months later, just because I don't know. Like, Pokemon, and especially because say it happens in September, like Pokemon Sword and Shield is coming out.
True.
And like, not that those should take away from that, because everybody, if you wanted to have played Pokemon Blue and Red and Yellow again, you could have played them again by now easily. Virtual Console, however else, but nevertheless, Pokemon Company could very well be like, nah, we're gonna wait till Sword and Shield's out and we'll put Pokemon's on there the next year.
Which, like, I mean, Sword and Shield coming out, it's sort of incentive for them to do it, but at the same time it's not, because like,
if it weren't an RPG,
be like, and like, you could transfer this to Pokemon Home, but like, there's also Pokemon Let's Go to do that for those generations, but not Johto, so maybe we get Gold and Silver.
True. Good point. So, Pokemon games. Those would be obvious choices, but they could do weird things with that. Tetris is the most obvious of the choices.
Yeah, and Tetris is... See, this is the thing. Because, like, I was saying, when we came up with this idea collectively, with our combined brain, with... I don't know who has what. You're right brain and I'm left. That's how we're doing it.
Sure. I don't know which one's which, so we'll go with it.
Whoever knows stuff about brains, tell me if that was accurate. But Tetris, was the thing that I was kicking around. I was like, Tetris makes sense, but
Yeah.
then we have Tetris 99. But also,
I
like
thought of that too.
the classic game collection things, they kind of feel less like a thing of like, here's a way to play this game, and more like here's a way to compare the games that you're playing now to the games that they originated from. So like we may have a better version of Tetris in Tetris 99, but like Tetris is still a good game to provide to people to be like, look how far we came.
Yep.
Not that far, because Tetris is Tetris, but there's some stuff that you can do in the new one that you can't do in this one.
Yep. The interesting thing with NES versus most things past that is the NES especially, and Tetris in a similar way, is really like hop in, hop out, kind of just play it a little bit, but barely any of the games. I mean, some of the games have save files, and obviously you save states, blah, 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 but like they're not RPGs and like longer sprawling things like the SNES starts to have, and like Pokemon and some of these other things where you're going to be, or like the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages and stuff like that, where like you're going to be playing it for a little while. So it's really like not a risk at all to have NES type games on a service to take away from other sales of other games, because you just know like, oh well, people are only going to just play those on this side, not really as like a main thing. But once the SNES gets on there, like plenty of people could very well just like, I'm just going to play SNES games now, and it'll, they'll have a lot of games to play for a while. So it's just odd psychology kind of stuff to see how they would go about doing that. But Tetris definitely falls into one of those ones that like, they don't even have a single player Tetris mode on Tetris 99 besides in the DLC having to like play against computer or something like that.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't take away too much from it. But yeah, what else do you have?
I got Donkey Kong Land.
Absolutely.
Put Donkey Kong Land on there.
Yep. And I think probably Donkey Kong Land 2 comes later, but Donkey Kong Land that's like every... This is a generalization, but it just has been the case. Like my sister, my wife, and a bunch of other girls that I know that like don't play video games at all, but like had a Game Boy. Donkey Kong Land is like the game that they had, and like I don't know how that happened. That was like the game that all the girls that I know that barely played video games played, but it was. So there you go. Donkey Kong Land.
True.
That's a thing. Again, generalization and just anecdotal evidence, but interesting nevertheless.
How dare you in the year of our Lord 2019 generalize?
There you go. So Donkey Kong Land for sure. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. I feel like this could be one of those weird ones where they put the second one on first and then they come back to the first one because the first one's kind of underwhelming compared to the second one.
I mean, with that logic, that they would have put SNES out first because the NES is trash.
Well, just like they put Super Mario 3 on the NES, and they were like, here's Super Mario 2.
True.
So I don't know, but yeah, definitely the Super Mario Land games at some point. One of them for sure at launch, but and then the other one later, or both of them at launch.
Put the Game Boy Harvest Moon on there.
I didn't even know there was a Game Boy Harvest Moon.
I had to double check because I was pretty sure, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I Googled it. Put that on there. And show people how much worse it is than Stardew Valley.
There you go. Link's Awakening DX.
Another one of those things of like, look how much worse
it'd be
this
at the
game
same
is.
time. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that one would be a good sell for the new Link's Awakening as opposed to, maybe some other things like that or whatever. But yeah, where you'd be like, oh, wow, like the new one looks raw like God.
I would say Metroid 2, Return of Samus. But I feel like that's a game that Max would want me to put on here, so not allowing it on the list because he unfollowed me on Twitter. Moving on.
There you go. Moving on. Let's see. I got Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby's Dream Land 2. I think Kirby's Dream Land 2 was the first Kirby game I ever played.
Weird.
Yeah. There you go. That's what it is.
We already have that. No, I don't think that. I don't want to say the Legend of Zelda, the port, but no, we already got.
Oh yeah. Although Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons and Ages, super good. I actually, saying that, I've only played Seasons. I haven't played Ages. But Seasons was fantastic. So they should put that on. I would be very, very happy about
Didn't
that.
you already say that? I thought you already said that.
I said Link's Awakening, you big dummy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But now I'm saying Oracle games. I did mention them, but I didn't say them as games to put on there.
Donkey Kong 94.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the year after I was born, so that means
That's right.
that it's not as important. But, like, people know it exists, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel like it's one of those games a lot of people have heard other people talk about. Like, I've heard, I don't know, some of the guys from Game Explain talk about, or they talked about it on the Nintendo podcast, the Nintendo podcast this last week. But I was like, I've never played it, so it would be fun. Mario Golf and Mario Tennis.
Mario Golf was real good.
Mario Tennis, also real good. I played that
I don't remember playing Mario Tennis, but I
You
remember...
don't play as Mario you
don't play as Mario on Mario Golf either. Well, not in the single-player mode. So,
same.
like, my mom went through this whole thing of, like, you can't play Pokemon because Pokemon's whatever. I play Pokemon anyway, spoilers.
Pokemon?
Yeah. And she thought that this was Pokemon. I was like, it's not Pokemon, it's Mario. So it was like the whole thing. But, like, ultimately, like, look where I am now, you know? You know what I mean?
That's so true. You were right.
Playing Pokemon.
Was it? Yeah, I
for
definitely
the
had some
ones.
friends growing up. That weren't allowed to play Pokemon. And I mean, arguably explaining it as an adult is kind of like, you just have to get past the conceptual side of it and like not think about it. But like, honestly, even playing game, like hanging out with my friends that have kids and them playing Mario and be like, yeah, just kill that guy. Like saying kill to a kid sounds just, no, like even though I'm just talking about jump on that Goomba, like I just avoid, I'll be like, hop on the head and
which still like if somebody was like, yo, hop on that guy's head, you'd be like, no, like that's murderous.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's a video games
but
are
yeah,
weird.
no
but,
spoilers. It's to play it anyway. But no, she thought that this was that because like it looks kind of similar, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's golf.
There you go.
And I don't remember ever really getting far in this game, but like I played it.
Yep. Yeah, I never played that. I just played Mario Tennis, and I liked it a lot. There you go. I went back and played a ROM of it, I think, a couple years ago, because I don't know where the... Oh, yes, I do. I gave it to my cousin with all the other games I gave to my cousin. I've talked about that before.
Kid Icarus, the Game Boy one.
Oh, yeah.
Just so like people are like, oh yeah, Kid Icarus exists. Let's bother them for Kid Icarus Uprising on Switch.
There you go.
Because that'd be fun.
True dat.
That
would be fun.
I'd be down.
They'd have to figure out a lot of things, but you know,
no,
whatever.
they wouldn't, Parker. We got the touch screen. We got 2 analog sticks. We're good. We don't even need the touch screen because that control scheme was stupid on the 3DS.
That's the thing that I'm saying they have to figure out.
No, just make it dual analog stick controls.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the touch screen.
Oh, okay. I haven't played the game, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, big dumb.
Yep. Wario Land games.
You already said Warland too.
I said Mario Land. I'm saying Wario Land with a W. They're different. Don't you know? I don't know which ones. I mean, all of them eventually, but I don't know which ones at launch. They'll pick weird ones,
Super
I'm sure.
Mario Land, the Wario one. That one.
Yeah.
That's a Mario game and also a Wario game.
That's Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. I just said that earlier.
That's what I'm saying.
Silly.
That's my whole point.
That is your whole point. Thank you for clarifying.
Stupid. Jesus.
I'm running out.
Donkey Kong Country.
Yep. Dr. Mario.
No.
But yeah, otherwise, Kirby's Pinball would be cool. The real question is, what third-party games do they put on there? Because I
already said
didn't even
Harvest
bother trying.
Moon.
That's true.
Stupid.
But they're not gonna like
Final Fantasy Adventure, which is like, wasn't that like a Secret of Mana or some crap like that?
I think I want to say yes, something like that. I mean, I know people really liked it. I don't know if it's something else, but I don't even know. Like, I feel like Square's kind of at this point just like, we'll figure out our own thing.
DuckTales 2 is not going to happen.
No,
what
it's
if
not.
it did though? Like, what if it did?
It would be cool. I still don't know why they haven't put on the Disney Afternoon Collection on Switch.
I know.
That's weird. So, but
They need to put Lion King on Switch.
That's true.
Because it just makes sense, dude.
Yep.
But see, that's the thing though, because everybody's like, Lion King's hard, and it's like I played Lion King as a tiny baby child. I was like, what, 5 or some crap, and I beat that game.
There you go. I mean, I think too, one of the things, like, as kids, when you only have one game to play forever,
I didn't have only one game. I had all the consoles, man. Had all that stuff, man.
I only had one game ever. I still only have one game. It's Fire Emblem Three Houses. I got it as a 3-year-old.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you could have
really good at it.
Real rich if you took advantage of that. But no. So like it was weird because like some of the games like I had on Sega Genesis, like Aladdin, that one was on the Sega Genesis, and I had Lion King on the Super Nintendo. Didn't play Aladdin that much because the Sega Genesis is dumb, except for Sonic.
And that's why this is not a Sega podcast.
What? What were you saying?
I said, and that's why this is not a Sega podcast.
Also, are there, how many Sega podcasts are there? Really? Because they lost that war.
That's why we're not a Sega podcast. Very true.
How many Betamax podcasts are there?
Yeah, so many. But yeah, that's anything else you'd want to come to the Game Boy on the online?
Dragon Ball Z, the card one. The card game. That's the only Dragon Ball Z game I remember on Game Boy. There might have been another one, but I don't remember.
I don't know. Well, as far as the online, something else coming to the online is a trial for Mario Tennis Aces. We were talking about Mario Tennis before, and now here it is.
Yeah.
So some details before we go into it. August 7th through 13th, if you're an online member in Europe or the United States. Maybe all of the Americas. I don't know how that works. I don't know. If you're in not the US, but you're in like Canada or Mexico or something like that, you will know, because I don't. But in any case, you get Mario Tennis Aces for free, the full game, not like a demo or whatever. You can play for free for that whole week, and then you can buy it for 30% off from then until August 20th.
Which is dope. I have to say, for disclosure, product provided by Nintendo. They sent me that one. It's a good game. You should give it a shot.
It was a good game. Yeah, we just talked about Mario Tennis on the Game Boy. The Game Boy game, the single player mode was a lot more like Golf Stories single player mode, or like Mario Golf, I guess, on the Game Boy, like that kind of a thing where it was like, that was the main mode for it. So it was, a kind of full experience. So I was a little disappointed by the single player mode in Mario Tennis Aces because it was a little bit bland. I don't know, like felt kind of a little bit straight shooting where like you just kind of finish it up and it was all done. But the mechanics of that game are fantastic. So if you want to play it online at all, it's good for that. And it's just really fun to play. And local multiplayer if you want to do that. That's one of those ones where like multiplayer or local multiplayer is kind of hard, where you'll get good at the mechanics so somebody new, like it's not as much fun as, I don't know, like Wii Tennis or something like that, maybe, because that has fewer things to learn, so somebody can pick up on it and it'll just be fun instead of you just demolishing your friends the whole time. I don't know. Yeah, those are some of my thoughts about Mario Tennis Aces.
Also, like Mario Tennis Aces was like one of those games that should be in the same category as Mario Party, but it's not. Where they just like completely reinvented it post-launch, because like there wasn't like a lot of stuff to do and like that sort of thing, but like they had like a lot of updates and a lot of new characters and new modes and like that type of crap. So like you got like the finished game, like when everything's all said and done, that's when they did it for free. So it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, like all it's going to cost you is your time.
It's good. Do you think so? I guess this is part of one of the things that they said, like, special offers come with the Nintendo Switch Online. How much more do we anticipate? Like, is this the start of a new trend, or is this kind of a random one-off? I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like this is like something that they could theoretically do for like, it's so easy for them to boost subscribers now with doing stuff like that. Like if they wanted to tomorrow announce that 70% of Switch owners or Switch Online subscribers, they could just be like, Pokemon Sword and Shield free for the first week or first day. They could say free for the first day, and if you play it during that day, you get a 10% discount. And the freaking amount of people that sign up to Switch Online would skyrocket.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like they should do it again. It seems like they're kind of like experimenting with different things, like how the vouchers, because like we heard of the vouchers and we're like, yeah, this is cool. This is something that should just be a thing. And they're like, nah, but like we're going to discontinue.
Yeah, right.
So it seems like they're like testing the waters and seeing what should stick.
Which I'm sure the vouchers will come back, but it's one of those things where like doing them in, I kind of like, I don't know, what's it called?
Like
I mean, like the
Disney
Splatfest
Vault?
or like, yes, right, exactly. Like the Disney Vault or Salmon Run or something like that, where like you only let it out every once in a while and then it's exciting and cool and fun, you know, and like it'll put pressure on people to like, oh, I've got to buy 14 vouchers. You can't buy 14 vouchers, but I've got to buy, you know, like
buy 8 or whatever.
All 8 vouchers because I want to save money now for later, but then like, you know, they'll come back later at some point, and then at that point you can just get them again. But at the same time, if you want to get Astral Chain the day it releases and you want it for $50 instead of $60, then you need to have already gotten a voucher.
See, and there's some stuff that like you could do, and I was going to do, but like I wasn't sure if it was worth doing, because like a lot of times PayPal or eBay has those deals where it's like, get a $50 Switch Online Nintendo eShop card for $10 off or whatever. You can buy 2 of those and then you get $40 off.
That's cool.
You can't see my face. I was going to do a whole bit, but you can't see me.
I can.
Rip.
Could have done a bit for me.
I could have did it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what else they do. If they do just, these 2 things now and just bring them both back, or if they do it yet another different thing and try that out. I mean, just doing sales on games, even just having the 30% off of the game, even if you don't play it for free for during that week, like that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do sales anyway, but especially on their first party games, like if there are permanent sales on first party games or something like that off like 10%, that's something,
Yeah.
So it would be cool. But they just need to support the Switch a bit more in that regard, which EA is not doing.
True. Dumb.
So we got this going on this week. Here's another little bit of news. Probably y'all already heard it, but here we go. So EA had their investors meeting, just like Nintendo did, and I didn't even put the Nintendo investors meeting stuff on here. They sold a bunch more games. I mean, it's just more numbers, higher numbers than before.
We'll break it down. I'll open it.
Cool. But in any case, so somebody asked. So Jeffrey Cohen asked, "Thanks for the incremental color on The Sims. It feels like that franchise would be one that would do really well on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm curious how you guys determine what platforms you'd bring to the game, or the games to, or you bring the game. Yeah, you bring the game to, or games to. What? That was a weird question I asked. And is there any reason you wouldn't want to bring it, to the Switch? Long story short, he's like, hey, how come it's not on the Switch? And how do you guys determine what games or what platforms you bring it to? It was just worded weird there. Andrew Wilson from EA responded, anytime we're evaluating platform conversations, we are really looking at a couple of things. One, does the game really fit the profile of the platform in terms of control or the community ecosystem? 2, do we think the community playing on that platform would appreciate the game to go there, or would they prefer to play it somewhere else? We have a lot of data that would suggest a great many Switch owners also own a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, or an Xbox One or a PC, and very often choose to play the games that we make on those platforms, even though they have a Switch and they enjoy a lot of great content on the Switch. And there's always an evaluation process that goes on a case-by-case basis. And I wouldn't say that The Sims would never go to the Switch, but I think that we're doing really, really well attracting Sims players. As we said, we did the promotion in the last couple months and brought in 7 million new Switch or Sims players that we had that we expect will engage in that community on a platform that is really tailored to user-generated content, creativity, and customization.
This is stupid, but parts of it like are true, but ironically not in the way that he wants it to be.
Yes, right.
Because like he mentioned that promotion, they had a promotion where you could download Sims free. off of Origin.
Of course people are going to download Sims 3.
Yep. Right. I downloaded it for free. Am I going to ever play it? No. I am never going to play this on my computer. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So like, but if they put it on Switch, I would play that.
Yep.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one, because like there was a video on our very channel that got a good amount of views, and a lot of people saying that they would want it, but they don't see it happening because EA is dumb, and EA is proving their point.
Yep. I mean, I think it's really funny like, too. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
As far as like where I can see where he's coming from, it's like the user generated content and like all that stuff. Nintendo's notoriously like weird about that, you know. As far as like letting the like third party devs like do stuff like that, like mods and like that type of crap.
Interesting.
So I guess maybe, but I don't know if you can even do that on Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and I mean, also that's not. It's not like The Sims can only be The Sims with that. And also, that's one franchise. I mean, that's one franchise that makes a lot of sense for the Switch, but it's still just one of their franchises.
Yeah,
so
like,
even if
there's
you know,
no
like
Star Wars games on Switch other than Lego Star Wars, that's stupid. Like there's just, I mean, granted, I don't care about a lot of EA's games.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're not even making games that like. I think right now, if they put their games out on the Switch. Some of what he said would end up being true, partly because of so I mean he says that first of all, many Switch owners also have a PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC, which like probably true. I don't know the numbers by any means.
It's true. It's true. Like,
I mean, I'm not one that has anything besides a Switch, but I mean there's plenty of other people that do, so like that's fine. And very often choose to play the games that we make on those platforms, even though they have a Switch, and enjoy a lot of great content on Switch. Here's the thing. Y'all only put like 4 games on the Switch. Yeah. So it's, if you're basing it off of the performance of those ones,
and they're not even like really tailored to Switch, you know, like
specifically, FIFA is like, they have to put it on Switch because, to my understanding, they have an agreement with FIFA that says we will put it on, like, to license this franchise out, we will put it on every platform that can have it on there. It's something along those lines, to where like they didn't choose it because they're like, no, we like the Switch for this one. No, they did it because they had to.
They were even putting FIFA on Wii U, so like
yeah, exactly. But it's like it's just not as good a version of that. So like obviously people are going to get the better version of it. It's not just like graphically, it's slightly worse.
It's not even a graphical thing. It's just the fact that they don't put the effort in. Like they take out whole modes that are just like, because they don't want to adapt them to work. Like, first of all, the core of the problem isn't like, I know the easy thing to do is like, Nintendo should have made a more powerful console, but no, like the biggest gaming platforms on the planet are mostly held up by low-powered hardware. You know, like mobile gaming is bigger than ever, and most of those mobile game platforms, all of them, spoilers, are less powerful than the Switch. And like as far as like PC gaming, most PCs, spoilers, are not the like freaking 18 core,
the juggernauts,
like no, like, you know, like these are these are computers that can barely run Minecraft, and that those are the ones that people are buying these games on and stuff like that.
I mean, the fact that like Call of Duty's coming to cell phones or whatever too, like, you know, obviously it's not just a hardware thing. It's a demand, or it's a perceived demand thing, or like just an effort question where they think there's not enough people that want to buy it, which there's precedent from other generations, but obviously, I don't know, like I feel like that's been proved wrong over and over on the Switch. But, you know, whatever, they can do whatever they want. And like, it is somewhat I guess a thing of like, they just have decided we're making enough money on these other ones, we don't want to deal with the effort.
I think the biggest thing is that like it's easier for us to make money off of Xbox and PlayStation because they're so close to what we have to do for PC games. That it's not like we don't have to develop a whole new engine or make our engine more scalable, because it's not drag and drop So before I say this, I want to make it clear it's not that simple. But more or less, drag and drop.
Yeah, right.
Being like, hey, like these are this is the spec that we want to shoot for, and this is what we got to do. So it's like there's some things that they would have to do for Switch that they don't have to do now, where it's like, okay, well, we have to like adjust these assets or whatever, or we have to change up the engine so that it handles games more. So with this part of the, like with the so it's more GPU heavy instead of more CPU heavy, you know, like that sort of thing. And they don't want to put that effort in, which is dumb because like pretty much every other studio, like Bethesda, you know, like Bethesda is like one of the most like well known for like putting out games that are like taxing on hardware, you know, for better or worse, whether it be because it's technically impressive or because it's Skyrim and everything's breaking. Like that sort of thing. And like even CD Projekt Red that I never saw putting a game on a Nintendo platform ever. They're even putting The Witcher on there. So it's like EA has no excuse. They just need to make their freaking engine more scalable.
I mean, I think, and so also Grimhane, I pulled a question from Q&A because it was related to this. Grimhane asked, so with EA's circular logic about not bringing games to the Switch because there's no audience for them, no audience there for them, while they don't have any games available on the Switch for beyond FIFA and some others, which have done fairly well overall. What do you think is the real reason they continue to leave money on the table? And I think it's that. I think it's the fact that it's not as easy for them to make a game for Switch as it is for them to make one for Xbox and PlayStation. And I think like to some degree, I don't know, I feel like we've heard rumors of just like bad relationship in general too, which is kind of a vague thing, but seems accurate-ish. You know, I feel like there's a lot of games that were in their lower echelon that they could have just tried for anyway. Yeah, like is Plant vs. Zombies Garden Warfare or whatever on Switch? Yeah. Like, why is that not on Switch? Exactly. That is dumb. Like, that is the number of, like, actual mobile ports that we get, and then that one, which is just, like, low-end, I mean, just, like, practically a Flash game as far as, like... I don't even mean that one, but, I mean, I'm talking about, like, they're, like... I would say it's more like a Splatoon-ish sort of situation. Like it's like actually like a shooter situation. That's a Nintendo game, you know, like that would sell well on Nintendo platforms. And it's not like this technically impressive, like, you know, like you need at least 4 teraflops to run this. Like, so I think it's got to be some combination of some bad relationship from some point, I guess. And then, them just not wanting to put in the effort past that, which is just kind of ridiculous. But at the same point, like you said, it's not like they have. It's not like they have that many amazing games right now, anyway. Which is also why, I mean, a lot of AAA kind of multi-plat games generally just don't interest me a whole lot, which is why I don't have an Xbox One or a PS4 because, like, I just don't care about a lot of them. So that said, if they did bring probably like Jedi Fallen Order, if they brought that, I would definitely play that because that seems cool. But then a lot of the other ones, Battlefield, I'm not playing that. There's, you know, like anything that's, I don't know. It's just frustrating. All of these platforms and I barely touch them. So it's like, I don't know, like that their logic is flawed because like it could very well be the case in the other way around, you know, where it's like there's people like me that also have these other platforms, but they prefer to play it on Switch. And there's also people that would just buy it twice, you know, because like being able, like if you could sit there and be like, okay, like I can have Madden at home and then also Madden wherever I go. Why wouldn't you do that? I think they seem to be sticking to their impression of Switch owners being what Bob thought Switch owners would be at the beginning of the Switch life cycle, which was it's just a secondary console where like you have your main one and then I guess you have your Switch too. But then like, as you know, we know and he knows too, is like, no, like there's plenty of people that like just have a Switch or have other stuff and just play their Switch more anyway. And including all three of us. Didn't I say Bob was dumb earlier? Bob's dumb. But yeah, like I think that this whole idea that like most people care more about like, oh, well, this is the more technically impressive game. I don't think that logic holds water. I think it's if it runs well, that's like and more important. Even that is like true. You know, like because
It really just depends on if it's playable, and I don't mean playable in the pretentious way where it's like, what, this is 480p, that's unplayable. Like, I don't mean in that way. I don't mean in the sense that people look at a game that looks like an Xbox 360 game and they act like, oh, this looks gross, when 4 years ago they were like, this is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, if
you have to watch a Digital Foundry video to realize that it wasn't perfect, then like it was fine, it was good.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like, you know, like they just changed the marketing strategy, because like a couple decades ago it was like blast processing. You didn't know what that meant. You just heard some talking head say that once, and then you used it as
I've never even heard that. Blast processing,
that's a Sega Genesis thing where they're like, we have blast processing, which was like kind of a thing that they had, but not really, you know. Like, it's kind of like how like the TurboGrafx 16 was like first 16-bit console, which is like technically true, but like not, you know, it's that sort of situation. And that's what we're looking at here, where they're like, oh, these consoles are blah, blah, blah. And like in the grand scheme of things, this generation, meaning Xbox One and PlayStation 4, not impressive. Because usually like even in the world of PC, like they're closer to high end than they are now, where it's like they're like low middle end, really, as far as their power goes. And it's still this whole thing of like everybody being like, oh, this is so powerful and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not, though. It's not not as impressive as you think it is. This is like laptop tech, you know, like they have mobile chips in them. They're not like full dedicated like desktop PC hard. Like it's not as big of a deal as people think it is. And that's what I feel like is like this audience that like we're like exposed to just by proxy, you know, like being like gaming YouTubers and stuff like that. These are people that pay more attention to this sort of thing, and they hear people at Digital Foundry being like, oh my god, like the ambient occlusion does not work as well on Switch as it does on Xbox One X. And then they're just like, oh yeah, let me write that down so I can use it as fodder in my fanboy war. It's just like,
did you say the ambient occlusion in Super Mario World?
It's like so stupid. They don't even use anti-aliasing. What does that mean, kid? Okay, let me go to Digital Foundry. Hold on. It's so dumb, man. But yeah, EA stupid. Moving on.
EA stupid. Yeah, they're not bringing games to the Switch, but you know who is? Microsoft. Through way of Obsidian. So this Obsidian announced The Outer Worlds a while back, or at E3, I think. And it is now coming to Switch as well. Some context: Obsidian they were the developers for, or they worked on Fallout New Vegas, and so
they also worked on South Park: The Stick of Truth. It's not really relevant, but they did.
So yeah, they worked on that, and this is pretty much just a Fallout game that's not technically Fallout, and we don't have any Fallout games except for Fallout Shelter. And then also there's a Fallout style game in the sense that it's like the first Fallout by the developers of the first Fallout, which is completely different. It's like more like a strategy RPG kind of a situation ish.
It's even more
something
of a nerd
like that.
game.
I don't know. But in any case, The Outer Worlds looks cool, and they're bringing it. But it sounds like it will be coming later than the other versions. So there's that.
But you know.
Yep.
At least it's coming, I guess.
Exactly.
Why play this? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm more interested than I kind of. Actually, this was one that when I saw it,
I never had played this game on a different platform, but I'm considering it on Switch.
Yes.
I still might not play it on Switch, but I'm considering
it was one of the ones, because I don't remember. I think it was at Microsoft's. It was at their E3, I guess, because they had a and seeing a lot of the games, I was like, I don't really care about most of these, but this was one that I was like, that would be cool if that was on Switch. Like, it's real neat. I don't see it happening, but it'd be cool. And look, it's happening.
And then you didn't tweet it because you knew people were going to come out of nowhere and be like, the Switch could never run this game. And that's my favorite part about Switch. Because it's like,
I should have. That would have been great.
People already.
Although I don't have enough followers. Everybody that follows me is like, you know, friends of ours.
We gotta get Justin to make that freaking graphic. But anyway. So, like, that's my favorite part about Switch, because, like, again, you have like the armchair like computer engineers being like, the Switch is anemic and it's not capable of running X, Y, and Z, and it's like, but you don't know that though. Like, you're just hearing what one developer that has a problem with Nintendo for one reason or another said, and then like you're like, oh, it's impossible to have X, Y, and Z on there.
Even Digital Foundry, who does know lots of things and is smart about stuff, tried to figure out like, okay, well, if The Witcher could run on Switch, what would it be like? And they did a good job at it. And they kind of came to the conclusion of like, well, like, you know, they'd have more resources to be able to make it work. Like, it's pretty rough running it like this, so maybe it's possible, but maybe not. But if it weren't for the rumors, I don't feel like they even would have considered it necessarily. But like, you know, that said, the number of people that are like, Witcher's never coming to Switch.
And even them, they don't know as much as a multi-billion-dollar tech company, for lack of a better term. You know, like, these are people that, regardless of what you think, you know, like, the meme is that, oh, Nintendo still is on dial-up and all that other stuff. They have way more knowledge on this stuff than you do. Like, I guarantee it. I guarantee you. But people at Nintendo that are working on these consoles and designing this online infrastructure and all that stuff, they know way more about this than you do. Way more. So like you might have like put together your PC, you know, like you went to Cyber Power or whatever and got your PC parts. You went to PC Part Picker and put something together, but you don't know as much about computer engineering as computer engineers, you know. So it's like, just like, it trips me out, dude. It trips me out.
Oh man. Speaking of tripping,
Super
Smash Brothers Brawl. Just kidding. The Hero came out this week. It was, we found out about it the day before it was going to happen, that it was going to happen real soon, and then it happened the next day. And look at that. And I haven't played as a hero at all because I haven't played Smash in forever.
How dare you?
Pretty easily. I'm playing Fire Emblem. We'll go into your video comments and stuff, but any broad thoughts before we go into that about 4.0 or tournaments?
Heroes is real stupid. I don't like them. So I went, like, I had this whole arc where it's like I saw them and I was like, okay, this exists. And I was like, oh, maybe this would be cool, you know, because like Smash Brothers is like supposed to be chaotic and 4 players and items and crazy stages and all that crap. But like at the end of the day, like it's also a game that you can tailor make to like fit the experience that you want to have and like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he's dumb, you know. It's like the character, like how I figure he's supposed to play is like fine, but how people play with him is annoying. It's the same way that like NES is more than PK Fire, but when people are backed against the wall on laggy internet and Smash Brothers Ultimate World, they just spam PK Fire, you know. So it's like you run into the same thing where it's like people are just spamming stuff hoping for the RNG to come through. So like you'll just see people spamming smash attacks, hopefully they run into it and hopefully it's a crit, you know, like, or spamming down B and being like just waiting for whack or thwack or whatever to come out, like that type of stupid stuff, and it's annoying.
I mean, I feel like he's a really good party character and he could be really interesting in competitive stuff, except for I mean competitive stuff can also be pretty spammy too to some degree. So I mean,
I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
There's going to be people in tournaments that spam, right? But for the most part, as like a casual player, somebody could be doing a move multiple times, right? And it may look like spam. Like somebody might be looking at like me playing as Ivysaur, right? And they see like, oh, he's using Razor Leaf a lot. But that's different from spam because like spam doesn't have intent to do something to follow it up. So
like when I'm going to do this until he gets to 90% and then do something.
It's the thing of like, I'm going to do Razor Leaf, and if I'm in range, that starts off a combo because it pops you up, so I can hit you with a forward air or an up B or an up air. And like, but if I can't hit you with that hitbox, I'm going to keep using Razor Leaf so I can close the distance until I can do that. You know, like the spamming is just, oh, he doesn't know how to counter this move, so I'm just going to use this move until it doesn't work anymore.
It's
and
just
then I'm screwed.
Pikachu down B Thunder for 20 minutes.
But like using like zoning people out with a projectile is like completely different because like you have intent to do something else to follow that up. And that's what that move is for, you know? Like as far as like strategy goes. But like with Hero, it's just like RNG and hoping that something works. It's like I hope I get thwack. I hope I get what is that freaking magic burst. I think that is what it's called. The thing where it's like you lose all your MP, and it's like this crazy strong attack. There's just a lot of stupid stuff with that character.
Yeah.
And like in competitive play, like I think it would be hype for some spectators, but like at the same time it would be annoying because it's like somebody could be up an entire stock or whatever, and like they just lost their first stock or their second stock, I guess, and this other dude has 170% and he's one hit away from dying, and then he gets a freaking thwack or whatever and kills dude in one hit, and then that's just like he just got robbed, you know, like that was dumb. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's stupid. But like, Hero exists.
He does. He looks cool to me. If I were playing at all, I'd probably get him just because it just looks like a fun character. I like the RNG kind of stuff because I'm not great, so it's just fun to just do things. But I also don't play online, and I try to not piss people off, so I'm not gonna like be one of those people. But you know, it's fun. But then we've got some comment. You made a video talking all about Hero and 4.0 and whatnot. Casper3237 said, "Is that a new action point opening, or have I just not been paying attention? Either way, it looks great. Still waiting for a Shadow and or Knuckles skin / DLC characters. Also Mallow, Genos, and maybe a Paper Mario skin. With Hero's new down special, the skill menu, it opens up the game dynamics for turn-based RPG characters to be introduced. Thoughts?"
Okay, so I'm going to go down the list on this. No, it's not a new action point. It's been like that for at least a year, I think.
At least a year, yeah.
Shadow and Knuckles skins. Skins for who?
Probably for Sonic, I'd guess. Shadow makes sense.
Shadow makes sense. Knuckles would be weird. I mean, he'd be weird for his special attacks, but like his smash attacks are fine, I guess. You know, because like his forward smash is a punch. His up smash is like he like freaking jumps up with his spin dash thing, and like that's kind of a Sonic thing. But like Knuckles can spin dash, sort of. Let me see. His down smash is like a split. Knuckles can do that. So yeah, I mean, like it works, but at the same time, it doesn't work because like Knuckles can spin dash, but he doesn't spin dash in that same way. So yeah, I'd be down with that. I don't know about Mallow and Geno and all. I don't know nothing about these characters. But a Paper Mario character skin would be dope. I'd be down for that.
I feel like Mallow and Genos, again, I don't know much about them either, but to my understanding, their mechanics are pretty different for, you know, compared to any of the characters that are already in there. Maybe not, but I don't know if they wouldn't really be at least they wouldn't be a Mario skin, that's for sure. And even Paper Mario, like, I don't know if it would be cool to have that as a Mario skin, but I feel like it's like his mechanics would be still a little more different as far as it being a good representation. But having any of those as DLC characters would be dope. So
I think I would be mad if we got Paper Mario as a standalone character.
That's a good point.
Because it would start to feel like a Dragon Ball Z or Naruto kind of game.
Yeah,
like because like in those games, it's like you have freaking Super Saiyan Goku and normal Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and like having like that type of stuff, or Kid Goku or Future Kid Goku, or like it's just like your 32 versions of the same character. I don't want that. Give me like more characters than that. Give me diversity, you know what I mean? Give me more Pokemon, which we'll get to.
We will.
As far as the down special, yes, but no. In terms of like making them turn, I think that's real stupid. I hate that mechanic. It's dumb.
I think we've got it for one character now, and that's just going to be his thing. Like, I don't really anticipate that we would have more turn-based characters now because this one has it. I think if anything else, it limits the likelihood of other turn-based characters, which kind of sucks for me because I'd love Isaac or, you know, some Golden Sun character, but I don't really think. I mean, they could also just do those kinds of characters and not have turn-based stuff.
I want them to retroactively give Pokemon Trainer and other Pokemon critical hits. Do it.
True.
Give it to me. Because if you get RNG, I should have it too.
Agreed.
It's dumb.
There you go. So the next comment says, I really agree about the color/character thing. Really, or characters like Dry Bowser or Impa or all the other Pikmin captains could easily be alts. They did it with the Koopalings, and I'm sad they don't capitalize on that. Also, Smash is firstly a chaotic party game, but people always want to see how competitively they can push a character, as do I. Hero's random attributes are both a strength and a weakness. I don't think he'll dominate, but RNG is RNG. I'm expecting moments here and there. Also, only Hero getting critical hits sounds odd, but I like to think Hero deserves it since Dragon Quest is the granddaddy of all other RPGs in a way.
Yes, it's all these things. I think that, like, as far as tournament play goes, I think he'll suck in tournament play. I more so hate him because online Smash is laggy, so it's easy for people to cheese you with just one-off attacks, and it just be because I tried to dodge that and my up B didn't read as an up B, like that sort of situation, Yep.
How's your experience, just out of curiosity, your experience with the online at this point? Like, towards the beginning, everybody was complaining about it being laggy and stuff like that. Does it still feel like, is it like half and half laggy matches or not?
There's always a baseline, and most people won't notice this as far as there's always going to be a baseline level of input lag, but most people won't notice that because they're not labbing out combos and seeing this game comes out frame whatever, this is a frame 2 attack. Most people aren't thinking about that. But that input lag exists. I generally because I have gigabit speeds for internet, so if I'm fighting somebody that has decent internet, it's smooth. But if I'm fighting somebody with terrible internet, then it sucks. So it's very.
And does it seem like it's pretty much one or the other at this point? Like in your kind of level of Elite Smash or whatever, it's either somebody that's cheesed it because of their awful internet, or somebody that just has good internet.
Right. Exactly. Okay. That's the only it's the either side of the extremes. Either I have somebody that's really bad internet or has good internet, and it's there's no lag or all lag. Arenas is a little bit different though, because if you open a battle arena, just whoever can jump in, or anybody has the code or whatever. So sometimes there's varying levels of lag with those people, but when I'm just playing against randoms, complete randoms, then it's one side or the other.
Yep. True stuff. Benjamin Aquino says, my favorite kind of drink is something fruity blended with ice and non-alcoholic.
Same.
Nice. I agree 100% that Nintendo could have added more character skins and or outfits for the roster. The one you mentioned with Pokemon Trainer would be perfect. Even more outfits like Mario's has Builder and Wedding ones would be more welcome than color swaps.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about Hero. The use of the MP meter really allows him to be extremely unique and add a random force to be reckoned with. I am surprised that it took this long to have a character with an MP mechanic, to be honest. I played him about a total of 1 hour before writing this, and I can say with confidence that he will be part of my most used fighters.
I have complicated feelings with Hero because as a character, I think he's fun, and there's some he's fun. He's generally fun, but I hate the type of person that uses him online, and that makes me not like the character. Kind of like Ness. I don't have a problem with Ness. Ness is fine, but playing him online sucks.
Yeah, or King DDD or something like that.
DDD is the worst one. Because, there's literally no DDD that plays with DDD differently than the cheesy way to play with DDD. Yeah. You can set your watch to how people play with DDD. And if there's no lag, he's going to get effed. But if there's lag, then, you're at the mercy of the lag. Hero's not as bad as those characters, but or even a King K. Rool, that sort of thing. But it's bad because when it's bad, it's really bad in terms of the RNG and that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, and Grimhane, our buddy Grimhane says, my favorite drink is probably Pepsi or a passion fruit lemonade, depending on my mood, and if I want a quick energy boost or to cool off. In winter, hot chocolate would be the alternative choice. I consider myself a super ultra mega casual Smash player, and even that is an understatement of gross proportions. Wait. AJ likes Smash? What? Skins being available would be great aside from that, meaning Bob could get Shadow. I find it's hilarious that people want to ban Hero from competitive play already. All we've seen has been edited to exemplify his abilities. We have no idea how random those abilities are, and nor really how counterable they are. One hit KO sounds awesome, but does missing the hit leave the hero open to serious abuse?
No.
Will he be subject to increased damage? Same goes for recovery from anywhere. Is the hero more susceptible to being knocked off?
Yes. Sort of.
Also, if these abilities are really random, how many times will you be in a position to take advantage of them versus the abilities maybe really coming in clutch by chance? I'd imagine in most people's hands, it's more likely that he'll maybe get the timing right to really utilize his hero. You really utilize his hero to his full potential. And even in the highly competitive scene, it's not like there aren't some broken mechanics that are allowed.
True.
So that's all the hero stuff.
Yep. So I don't think most competitive players are going to use him because, like, he's not really that good in terms of like how a competitive player is going to use him. Like, because you don't have the benefit of lag when you're in a tournament, or a real tournament. So it's harder to like try to cheese people. Like they might use them against like people in pools, you know, like random players that like the people that are playing in Evo today, like on Friday, for context for people that aren't listening to this as we record it somehow. So it's like they'll probably use it to be like, you suck, I'm going to use this character, you know, like the type of stuff that's like, I'm just going to like disrespect you to this match. I'm just going to go for nothing but spikes and like that type of crazy stuff. That's the sort of times that I think that he'll pop up in competitive play.
How often does Joker show up in like, or do like online, just in general?
A lot online.
I feel like just new characters are always going to be fairly highly represented. Just
I think
because
it depends, because Joker's really good. Piranha Plant, at first there were a lot of Piranha Plants, but Piranha Plant's he's not great. So there's a lot less of them now. Hero, I think there's going to be a lot of them online and perpetuity, just because he's cheese, and that's like why you see DDD and why you see Ganon and like there's like King K rolls and stuff. Like those are the type of characters that stick around because like you can cheese somebody and get free GSP. And I think Hero is right in that group. I don't think he's in the Joker group. I think he's just cheese. But as far as like actual players and like how they're going to play this game, I'm like thinking about.
I'd like to see some really high level Hero play because that would just be cool. Yeah, but it'll be a little bit before that happens.
Like how his moves work, the frame data. As they call it, is not great for him because like a lot of his moves are slow. His his attacks in the air are not great in terms of like protecting yourself from combos. His recovery is real predictable and easy to punish, especially since like if you're fighting somebody that's like really trying to take advantage of like, you know, like the down B and like that sort of thing, he's going to run out of MP, and that's going to make it harder for him to recover. And then you could really cheese him. Especially if you have like a Squirtle or something like that. Like it's my thing, like not even Squirtle, Charizard. I gimp all sorts of heroes because like, especially the ones that spam their MP moves, because then they'll run out of MP and then I'll knock them off the stage and then they'll try to recover and then I'll just hold Flamethrower and they're dead. Rip. And that's the sort of thing that like competitive players aren't going to want to deal with. And just because that risk exists in like top 64 of a tournament or whatever, they're not gonna bother for the most part. So
and Grimhane goes on, speaking of tournaments, to say online tournaments, if this isn't something you can do with friends online, just why, Nintendo? Why even bother pretending like, and you can't, why even bother pretending like you want us to play with friends? You want us to play with random players. Just admit it. It's okay. Most of us won't send you hate mail. Just don't pretend like you want us to play with friends and then release game after game mode, or game after game, mode after mode, which prioritize random play over playing with friends. Also, enough with the fixed rule sets. Play your way indeed. More like play your way in one of the most inconvenient methods possible. Let players pick rules. Let them change those rules between matches. This shouldn't be hard. And it should be something Nintendo has an interest in implementing because it would positively affect players' play time in the game. It's not something like, say, themes for the home screen, which would be nice, but really are just cosmetic. I don't see myself maining Hero because, I mean, I can't even remember the last time I opened Smash. It's not like I'll play more because of changes in 4.0.
How dare you? But yeah, no, I agree. I think that there is an advantage to changing the rule set and, like, setting it. But, like, the rule set that they had, and it's like, I get it, but, like, at the same time, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's just the rule set right now. I think the rule set is 4 players, 2.5 minutes. Which is dumb. Items on whatever stage. Stupid. Yep. But I get why they do it because, like, not everybody plays 1v1 stages with, like, the least amount of jank possible. No items. 5-6 minutes at least, you know? I think that the time limit is more so because the tournament would take forever if every match was 5-6 minutes or whatever. So that is why I think they stick it around 2.5 minutes, even for the 4-player matches, which is kind of stupid. But it's annoying because people just stall it out for the sudden death, and I think that they could fix that by making sudden death down to the percentage point. So you could at least be like, well, I'm way ahead of this dude and we're both on our last stock or whatever, but like he has 102% and I have 4. You know, so he lost. But outside of that, like, and that's the sort of thing that's like annoying because like most tournaments, like I entered however many tournaments and I won like just in the time that this been out for 2 days, and I won like 6 tournaments already. So it's like, if I'm not getting cheesed or stalled out until sudden death, I'm going to win it. 9 times out of 10. There's probably one tournament that I did that I felt like the other person actually like legitimately outplayed me, and that's why I lost. Most times it's because I got freaking stalled out until sudden death and then some stupid crap happened. Which is annoying, but like whatever, man.
Man. True. Well, that was the hero stuff. You made a video, and then I also made a video. True. And then we had comments from people. We talked about Fire Emblem a little bit, and this is about that a little bit again. So here we go. First comment from John Francis says, I'm actually not usually a Fire Emblem dude, but I want to check this one out. Same with Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's odd. These don't normally appeal to me, but now they do. I don't know why.
Fire Emblem, see, the thing with me is like, I obviously have my preferences and I'm very vocal about those preferences. But like when I see the zeitgeist being like, oh, this game's really good and blah, blah, I'm going to give it a shot. You know, like I'm not like so stubborn in that way where it's like, everybody's like, this is the best game ever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever, dude. Like I'll check it out. I'm going to give it a shot. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And this just so happened to be one of those games that like it's getting crazy good critical acclaim, and a lot of people that are playing it, that's opinions I respect, also say they like it. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And it's good.
I think some of this, like, I feel like kind of goes into just the things we were talking about in the video too, where like it looks more attractive in just presentation. Both the games do. I think Sword and Shield as well. You know, like, I don't know, like 3DS games just in general aren't going to look as good as Switch games as long as the Switch games are made well, you know, like, and so I think both of these are examples of that where like, oh, it just feels like an expansive game, and maybe the other ones didn't quite have that same feeling. Like looking at, besides like I understood the combat aspects of other Fire Emblem games, but having not played any of the other ones, I didn't really know, like, outside of combat, like, what's the rest of it like? And so, like, now having looked into it more, I kind of get that better. But still, like, this one's the first game where I could see it and be like, I have a general idea for, like, what this game's going to flow like, you know, for the most part. And And then, I mean, Pokemon's just Pokemon, so it looks cool and awesome.
Oh, we didn't do. Well, we'll do it after this, but we didn't do the freaking the sales and all that crap.
Oh yeah, true. But yeah, so I think John Francis. I'm curious if more people feel the same way as you, because I mean that's the goal, right? Is to get new fans in, and I feel like they did a good job of it with Fire Emblem, and I feel like they're gonna do a good job of it with Sword and Shield too. Maybe they're pissing off some old fans, but I feel like they're getting some new ones as well. So we'll see how that pans out. But good comment. I like it.
I like it.
And then Grimhane. I also I saw this one coming a mile away, but here we go anyway. Parker. While you touch on it later in the video, you initially claimed that Fire Emblem is the first game to make this transition. This is just not true, though. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu beat it rather handily in terms of release date. I'll grant that these games may have not been the broader scope that Sword and Shield seem to. However, from all the gameplay of Fire Emblem Three Houses I've seen, it's in the same boat. The graphics have been increased and there are some new elements, but it's still very much a turn-based strategy JRPG with little to distinguish itself as a home console game versus a late-generation 3DS game minus the graphics. Yet the net result being that Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee and Fire Emblem Three Houses are effectively the same in terms of transition power, with the exception that it's pretty clear that Let's Go is intended also to bring players into the Switch ecosystem from Pokemon Go. Again, Sword and Shield may have a wider scope, but it's currently mostly conjecture, and from what we've seen so far, really just builds upon Let's Go. The wild area is perhaps the biggest change in terms of portable to home console. The rest that we know of so far that would fit comfortably into a portable game.
I disagree with that. I think that just from playing Fire Emblem Awakening, there's definitely more in terms of production value. For this game. It's not just a graphical increase. It just feels like they put a lot more work behind this game to make it feel like a console game. Yeah. They didn't really change the gameplay of it, which I agree with that. Yeah. But there's console turn-based games too. I think it's dumb, but they exist, Yeah. Because I talk about this all the time, but turn-based games were a means to an end. It wasn't it would be a really fun thing to do. Take turns picking on a menu. That'd be great. That'd be a great time.
But at the same time, I mean, chess, is that's been. I mean, like you said, it's kind of like chess, and I feel like that's the same kind of thing where it's this is the way that, because I especially agree in terms of Pokemon that I want to have an opportunity to experience that specific world in the world of Pokemon, which is the only world that's like it pretty much. I want to experience that in a different way that's more organic and reactionary or whatever, right, in some way. So even if that's a spin-off game that feels more like that.
Granted, I would say that, again, Fire Emblem does Pokemon better than Pokemon. In terms of having this relationship. You're supposed to have a relationship with your Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And there's no real effort done for that other than the generic friendship stat, and Fire Emblem has a similar thing where it's you have this affinity level with your comrades and stuff like that, but it's not this behind the scenes thing of oh well, you didn't faint that much with this Pokemon and you got a
you walked this number of steps,
right? So his friendship is high, or even now with affection, you pet him a lot, you give him a lot of snacks, you give him a whole lot of snacks, so he likes you a ton. So it's in that way, I think that this game just does a lot of that stuff. Granted, Fire Emblem has been doing that for a while. But
that's very true. So as far as on the just strategy RPG thing, I mean you're definitely right that it's not different really in the sense that it's the same kind of, it's still strategy RPG, but again, I think people whereas people would be mad with Pokemon, people that's the core of this game. Part of it really is this is what the game is more so than
Pokemon war game.
And we've got plenty of war games where you move things around, so people aren't really wanting for that in the same way that when people play a Fire Emblem game, originally it was just that Wargroove is That's literally all Wargroove is just this, kind of Advanced Wars, Fire Emblem kind of like,
Because there's no way to like, at least that I can think of, no good way to transition that into a game that you actively control,
RTS, I mean, that's pretty much all I can think of, like Age of Empires kinds of thing.
Which
but
is
that's,
even, like, still along the same line. Like, it's like, it's still pretty much like a turn-based sort of situation. It's just not picking on a menu.
Right.
Which, like, they could go that route. But I don't think it would really do much for it. I think the same people that are like turned off by turn-based games are also turned off by RTSs.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
as far as doing like a war thing, unless you could do it, like, unless it's just multiplayer and then like, there's 16 battalions or whatever, you get 16 or 15 other friends and you all do stuff together. There's just not a way to control all those people to do all their things separately or whatever. So but you're correct that is the same, but I think that's good in this case, whereas for some other games is less good. So as far as, but otherwise, I mean, like AJ said, I think there are a lot of subtleties or whatever. Like the monastery stuff really, to me, just makes it a whole lot, like it makes it feel like there's a home base of a place that does all this stuff. And again, I mean, I said in the video too, I haven't played any other Fire Emblem games, so I actually don't have something to compare it to besides just my impression.
They did
the My
some
Castle
of that
thing in Fates.
They did some of that in Fates, but it wasn't as like involved.
Yeah. That was kind of my impression of it too, was like there were things that you could do there, you could build some things and all that, but it's not it doesn't, and still like it being kind of top down and all that.
And like I would say something that they did with this game is like the new camera view where you can like zoom all the way in and like basically just play it from the level of like, when you go into a battle scene, it like zooms down the camera and it's like, here, look at the people fighting and stuff. You could just play the whole game from that like perspective, more or less. And that I think is a big change that's brought about by the transition to console, because that wasn't something that you could do before, but now you can.
But I will speak to the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee thing. It's a technicality, but like 100%. Like, yes, you're totally right. And I realized that as well. And I was mostly like going at it as this is the first in this window of like the Switch Lite thing. But it's one of those. Also, it's the first one that is being embraced as that, as like the next level of what this game is. Whereas Pokemon Let's Go, people looked at it as a downgrade. Yeah. More or less. Yeah. And also, I mean, all things considered, when making a video, you kind of have to build a narrative. So my narrative was starting in this season of these games. This is the first one. But yeah, nevertheless. Right. And I even like almost put some Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee footage earlier on in the video. And then I was like, I'm going to take that out because it was at the exact same time that I was saying something that was pretty much to Grimhane's point here. So, so that stuff. But no, I do think in general that even like with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I wanted them to do more of like what they're doing with Sword and Shield, or what it seems like they're doing with Sword and Shield. But it makes sense that they didn't in retrospect because, I mean, some of the things still bugged me, like some of the motion control type stuff. Like, I wish that they hadn't done that, kind of, but I don't really care at the same time. But, like, I was like, oh, but it would be great to see... it would be great to see Kanto from a third... or like, actually... from third-person camera that you can move around, like see the backs of buildings and stuff like that, and like get to walk around Kanto instead of just looking at it from a top-down view. But then it wouldn't feel like this is enough of a jump to go to Sword and Shield. So like on a just marketing standpoint, I get it. But to me, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee felt like just a graphical enhancement or like of just the Pokemon game. Speaking of Gen 1.
No, I don't even want to talk about that because it could just be a video. Cool. So I'm not gonna say.
So yeah, Grimhane, good points. One of them was an oversight on my part on purpose. Other ones I disagree with, but other ones I agree with. So good comments. Next up, Benjamin Aquino says, the first game in the series you ever played? This is blasphemy. It's true.
It is blasphemy. Even I played games before this one.
Yep. I was a lapsed gamer. I didn't know things for a
which
long
is
time.
blasphemous.
Moving on, he says, I agree fully that the addition of being able to freely explore the monastery adds to the level of immersion in this title. That was lacking in the mobile titles. Zooming into the action in battle is another welcome addition. However, it's an option I feel comfortable. It's not an option I feel comfortable keeping on. Same.
How dare you?
When I use it,
I didn't even use it. I figured out, like, I didn't even know it was a thing until I was watching Void, who's a Smash Brothers Ultimate player. He plays Pichu. Which I think he's switching to Pikachu because Pichu's garbage now. No, he's not. But Pichu is not as good because they nerfed it. But that's unrelated. He was streaming Fire Emblem and he did the camera view thing. I was like, what the? You can do that? I'm never doing it, but you can do that?
Yeah. No, it's not
feels
great.
It feels like it would be harder to play.
Yes.
Where it's like I can't gauge as well
cool
where everybody is and how far they can go.
Exactly. Like, because so much of it is figuring out like the efficient thing to do, and the efficient thing to do isn't, I want to figure out where this guy's going to go. It's figuring out where everyone's going to go and then doing it. Like, so it's one of those things. It's like, it's cool that it's there and it looks neat and it feels fun, but like I've done it 3 times and been like, all right.
It just feels like the sort of thing that like if somebody loves this game, right, and they're like, yo, I want to play this multiple times and stuff, like it's just like one of those challenges that you could do where it's like, I'm going to play the entire game like this.
Yep.
It's like a Nuzlocke challenge sort of situation. Yeah. Which, I mean, Fire Emblem was kind of Nuzlocke the game, so.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and it makes sense too that they just have it because they have all the areas fully modeled anyway for the battle sequences things. Yeah. So it just zooms into it at that point. So, why not just make it so that you can zoom in at that point? You've got walking animations for people. Like, they really, honestly, they did a great job as far as, I completely forgot. I just realized now to mention the whole having the third party developers helping on it and then other games to do it. Completely forgot to add that in the video.
I said explicitly.
You said you should mention this.
When I fed you this idea, I said, Parker, mention Koei Tecmo making the game, because that's not something that a lot of people talk about. Or even know. Yep. You didn't even say it.
And I forgot it.
Say Koei Tecmo even once.
I don't think I did.
I don't remember.
That's all. I don't know.
I watched your video, but I don't remember that.
But yeah, so continuing on with this comment. When I use it, it's for a short period of time to see my character move around the environment, i.e. in the cover of the trees, and perform a fancy move. Another addition to this game that really helped the immersion was the amount of voice acting. I love it and really want to listen to the bonding stories between characters more than I've ever wanted to in the last 2 games. The main transition from handheld to home console games for me really boils down to pacing, as you mentioned. Chopping up a game into pieces / chunks is certainly the way of mobile, even more so if we say mobile phone gaming. Being able to just keep playing a continuous story is what I enjoy most about the home console experience. This is especially true since I'm drawn to RPGs and JRPGs. Lastly, in regards to my favorite mobile game, it would have to be Pokemon. I'm not going down the rabbit hole of choosing the best Pokemon game, though. That's for another time.
How dare you? It's obviously Pokemon Heart Gold. That's obviously the best one.
Duh.
Clearly.
I agree with everything you said, to be honest. No, yeah, that's the voice acting is fantastic. Like, yes. The only person that I don't like their voice acting is going into the marketplace. Just the girl, whatever, that when you go in there, she's like, "Hi, welcome to here," and then whenever you leave, I don't know what she says, but like something about her voice is annoying. Everybody else, though, amazing.
Like the random characters around there, they say stuff that's like just doesn't make sense to me, because like sometimes they're like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And other times they're like, "I can't believe you just did that." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just walked past, dude."
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, excuse me. Yeah. And it's like, I'm just like walking here. Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know about
I've been
that.
to New York so many times in my life, and I have never even once heard somebody say that.
I just want to politely go up to someone like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
I was the first time that like I hung out with Bob IRL was with my uncle, and who is Bob's age.
Yep, there you go.
And I was like,
always with the disclaimer, because like, yeah, otherwise people would be,
because people are like, because then people are like, "You went with New York to your uncle? That's weird." Yeah. Like that sort of thing. Yep. But yeah, no, I was like, our goal should be to find at least one person And when they're saying I'm walking here. And we told Bob that, and he's like, I've legitimately said that several times in my life.
Well, you found him. You found the person. He just didn't happen to be doing it at the time.
He didn't say it, though. He didn't, it needed to be a genuine moment. So I'm going to New York again.
That's right.
Not going to say when, because that probably wouldn't be smart. But I'm going there again. It's going to be my goal again.
That's true. True that. My goal is to read this last comment from our friend Max. Rip Max.
Your friend Max.
True. He doesn't even follow you anymore.
He's cut off, dude. And he didn't even see the crazy thing is that he did the whole thing about like, oh, they nerfed Ivysaur, let's play Smash Brothers, and he didn't even mean it. How dare you say,
Max,
do you want to play Smash Brothers and tug at my heartstrings like that and then not actually play Smash Brothers? Are you stupid? Yes, you are. I'll answer my own question. Moving on. We're not reading his comment.
Max says, I'm reading it. Here we go. Max says, hey, Parker, small fan of the show. For handheld games, I'd like to see transition over to the Switch. I think the most obvious one to me is Metroid. Proper 2D Metroid. Since 2017, Samus Return was originally pitched as a remake of Metroid Fusion on the GBA, coupled with Mercury Steam sneaking one of their own some of their own bits of lore and a clear trajectory for the series in the game. It's obvious they had some ideas or plans how to follow up future titles, or for future titles to follow up, whatever. I'd like to see a 2D Metroid that has proper HD 2.5D graphics, impressive lighting, and atmosphere with the same twin stick style shooting that was introduced in Samus Returns, but with a real second stick. As for scope, I think apart from just having a bigger world to explore, the game could employ giant bosses and a dynamic camera. We haven't had a new 2D Metroid game since 2002, so Metroid 5 should assumably be a Switch title. I also think absolutely be a Switch title. Yes, good point. I also think a Switch Kid Icarus game in the same vein as Uprising would be sweet. My final question to you is, what older handheld game series, Game Boy to DS, would you like to see revived on Switch, and how would the improved hardware affect their scope more than just having better graphics?
You can't see me, but you can hear me.
This is real close.
Welcome to this channel. That's sort of the type of thing that we do here all the time.
All the time.
We have several videos about this very question.
Yep.
And this is why you're blocked.
Golden Sun. It's Golden Sun, guys. That's the one that I choose. It's an easy answer. It's Golden Sun.
You didn't make that video though, so
I haven't. No, I'm waiting for the rights. I don't want it to be a video like this week's where it's like, oh, nobody really necessarily wants to watch it. Dude. I mean, our hardcore fans watch it, and I appreciate and love them. But it doesn't go out to the wider population.
To the world.
So I'm just waiting for the right time, and Golden Sun video shall be made. It'll be a thing. So otherwise, Metroid, yeah.
Max, you're dumb, and I'm not answering your question.
I do wonder, like, we haven't seen a whole lot of like high-end 2.5D games. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
How dare you? Ukulele in the Labyrinth of whatever. I don't remember what that game's called. It's coming out at some point this year.
But like, okay, so, and or Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze or whatever are like very, more cartoony or whatever. So having like a darker game like that.
You mean like a Bloodstained?
Yeah, but like, I haven't seen that much footage of Bloodstained. To me, Bloodstained look okay, but not like fantastic. And so that ends in Metroid World. I don't know.
Who made this game? Igarashi. I'm telling.
And then he'll say, I'll prove you wrong, and he'll give me a copy for free. And I'll be like, haha, I tricked you. I now have a copy for free.
Yeah.
Whatever, so, but I mean, I'd love to see, yeah. I mean, Samus Return looked good, but that upscale to the Switch, I'd be curious.
It was a 3DS game in 2016 or whatever. I'm not
2017. Yeah,
I'm not doing that. Are you crazy?
Yep.
The only Pokemon game, the only 3DS game that I would play on 3DS is Pokemon, or a hashtag product by Nintendo.
True.
Speaking of Nintendo and products they provide, they sold more of them.
They did.
And this is
How many more did they sell?
We're doing it later because Parker didn't prepare for this. But I had it right in front of my very eyes. So we're going to talk about the sales and hopefully faster because this podcast is going to be real long. If not, well, then again, I don't know how long it is because like we started later than we usually do.
We did. We're close to our regular time already. So.
All right. So this might not be longer. I'm sorry if that's something that you wanted. I apologize deeply. I hope you forgive me. But anyway, Nintendo Switch is at 36 point. Are we like? Should we look at 3DS too?
No.
Okay, the Nintendo Switch is at 36.87 million units. I don't know how many more it sold because I'm not looking at the article. I'm just
like
looking at the
2 million-ish. It was like 2.13 million, something like that.
Okay, and software sales is at 210.13 million. I think they sold like 20-something million software units. But again, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at a news article. I'm actually looking at their numbers.
True.
As far as the top selling titles, the number one best-selling title is still a Wii U port. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 17.89 million units. Super Mario Odyssey, also a Wii U though, 14.94 million units. Really a Wii U port. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 14.73 million units. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a Wii U
Technically
game.
a Wii U, yep.
13.61 million units. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, 10.98 million units.
Man,
that's not a Wii U.
Just like it sold great right at the beginning and then
died.
it
just was done. Everybody that wanted it
that was it. We got it. Pretty much.
Splatoon 2, 9.02 million units. That's insane.
Yeah.
Super Mario Party, that doesn't have DLC, mind you, has 6.99 million units. Hashtag nice. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe that came out in freaking January has 4.10 million units sold.
Yep.
That's dumb. 1.2 Switch. Sold
1.2 Switch.
Sold 3.01 million units. I'm broken. Rip. 3 million units for that game. Mario Tennis Aces, 2.75 million units, which does have DLC. And it sold a third as much as Super Mario Party. So that makes sense, I guess.
Yep.
And Mario Maker was also something that they mentioned, but I don't have it in front of me. And I think it sold like 2.5 million or something.
Yeah, I think it was 2.5 million in the first 3 days or something like that. So
that's not Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers did like 4. Get on its level. Mario Maker. Right.
I wonder how long. I assume, Mario Maker's going to surpass New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, but like, what if it didn't?
I don't know about that. I don't know, because those games usually sell really well. And I think that the consensus is that like people think that Mario Maker is mostly for making games.
Right.
Or making levels. So they'll be like less likely to buy that. Especially like parents. Because like the reason why new Super Mario Bros. Games sell freaking 30 million units every time they come out is because parents are like, oh yeah, I remember Mario back when I was a child.
I don't think we have that, and they buy the 4th copy that their family owns. Like
exactly. I don't think that's going to happen with Mario Maker. I think Mario Maker is going to sell well, and it'll probably be a top 5 best-selling Switch game. But I think like when everything's all said and done, New Super Mario Bros. Is going to be like top 3.
Yeah,
if it follows the trend of the rest of the New Super Mario Bros. Games. But yeah, that's the numbers and sales and stuff.
That's the numbers and the sales and stuff. And then now we've got some Q&A. First, we've got some comments from last week. So here's some comments from last week's podcast. If you comment on this podcast, maybe we'll read some of those next week. 7 said, the game you were thinking of with the solar charger was Bokutai, The Sun is in Your Hand on GBA. I only know that because Outside Xbox did a list video on gimmicks in games that never caught on, and I've watched all their videos about 1 million times, so it's basically been drilled into my mind. LOL. That was Max mentioned one, a solar-powered game of some sort. And that's the one.
See, that's the thing that I like about doing things on the internet and asking them questions, because I feel like somebody always has the answer for it.
Yep,
and it's just
absolutely.
Like, you could probably, that's something that like, because a lot of times people, like snarky people, if you ask people on the internet a question, they'll be like, do the whole, let me Google that for you. And that's not as easy to Google because like, you don't know what it is. Like Googling is easy to do when you have a general idea of what leads you to the answer. But with this, it's like you just had, like he had a very vague idea of like, this game had this feature. So typing that in the Google, what game has this feature, would not return what
I mean,
you
that's
wanted
like, I'll have a riff from a song stuck in my head, and it's like, there's no good way to find out what that is. Like, I'm like, it goes like, yeah,
like you're gonna type that in the Google.
Like, I don't know. Like, best thing I can do is just ask somebody that's like, this sounds like a song you'd probably know. What song goes?
I wonder if you could sing that in the Siri.
I don't.
Because they have Shazam or whatever.
This is true.
Yeah.
Grimhane says, bring Max back. Bring Max back. Fair representation of RPG. RPG games matter.
RPG games is redundant, Grimhane.
True. And also, I like RPG games. I talk about them too.
That's
but maybe
true.
not enough.
And,
I don't know.
And
I really
Parker's
like
not
them.
blocked yet.
I mean, you did fire me today.
True.
For the
That's true.
millionth
But you
time.
also fired me. So.
I did. That's also true. Lizdrin. I've never played Minecraft in my life or even watched someone else play it, but watching you and the guys messing around on Thursday made me laugh so hard. I can't wait to see it happen again.
It's never happening again. But no, there are ongoing discussions about that.
Nice.
Because mostly, like, MDB is, like, really trying to make it happen. I'm down. But, like, you know, like, I'm not rushing to do it. It was fun. But, you know.
Indeed. Minecraft. And Falcon says, I care about Max, but the game, not so much. LOL. Bring back Max. I don't know if I get it.
Because Max was talking about some game or some crap that was coming out. And I was like, if this game comes out and you want to hear about it, let us know. Because then Max can come back and talk about it. Because the only way he's coming back is if he's talking about this game.
Well, perfect. Bring back the game so we can bring back Max and he can get unblocked. I don't know if that's how it works.
I don't know about that. I think he's blocked forever.
True. And then we asked you guys for questions. You guys answered in various different places. First of all, YouTube community post. And Lizdrin said, we all talk about the best mainline Pokemon game, but what's the worst mainline Pokemon game? Also, why?
Pokemon Blue.
Oh my goodness.
Because that's the dumb one.
No.
Ironically, my favorite color is blue, but Blastoise is stupid. And Gen 1 is buggy and dumb.
I will say, that's going to be your answer no matter what. But I, like, as somebody who loves Gen 1, if it's a question of, like, which one stands up to, like, I'm very nostalgic for Gen 1, but if it's a question of, like, which game is good now, today, for somebody to play for the first time or even for the first time in a long time, it's Gen 1's by far the worst.
That's a drawn out way of saying everything you said was 100% correct.
Yeah,
and
well,
you're
so,
right,
like,
and everything you say is always right.
So subjectively, like, Pokemon Blue is just up there for me. No, shut up. But objectively, like, I let my friend borrow my 2DS and I had Pokemon Blue on it, and so he played it, and he got to he beat Lieutenant Surge and was like, I don't know where to go. And that being a thing in a game is, like, arguably, like, that's not great game design or whatever. Like, they fix all that stuff in Let's Go, like, too much probably, where it was, like, too directed. But there's a difference. I don't know if
there's such thing, because
maybe not.
People like to act like oh, this is handholdy and blah blah. Right. It's not challenging to not know where to go. That's not a challenge. Right, exactly.
So that's I was thinking about that earlier today after reading this question. There's a difference between having an open world and having all these places you can go, but having everywhere that you have to go is different, where it's like you have to just trial and error go to all these places to find one that happens to work that you've already been past or whatever, which is exactly the case in Pokemon. Like, if you didn't notice that there was, a leaf or a tree that you could cut down over by Cerulean City, Cerulean City, then you wouldn't have known to go back there, and then you're just kind of stuck for a while. So all that said, it definitely holds up the worst of all of them, but I love it. So
it's the worst one.
There you go. That's the answer.
Even loving that generation is not an excuse for acting like the game's good, because there's Fire Red. That exists.
Right. But Blue, though. From Twitter, we got some questions. Bianca asks, do you think there will be a new Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer soon?
We got one, last month?
I think.
Or was it the beginning? Well, last month. Yeah. What, July?
Yeah, it was July, I don't know, like between 10th and 15th, somewhere in that kind of range.
I think we'll get one within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
It makes sense to have like a new trailer like every 3 weeks or so, and then once we're in like September, every week, and then from there, like, you know.
So soon is kind of relative, but I'd agree pretty soon.
Like I said,
as far as
within I'll put it within the next 3 weeks. I think we'll get a Pokemon trailer.
Agreed. Cool. Benjamin Aquino. Like, why did you choose a GIF that made my eyes hurt? LOL, because you put up a GIF on Twitter. Other than that, my question is, do you think that a Fire Emblem 3 hero... Oh my goodness. Three Houses character has a chance to make it in Smash Bros. If we get another season pass? Good
I hope so. Just for the meme. Because like people are going to be so mad, and I'm just going to enjoy that.
Yep.
Because like I enjoy when people are mad when it doesn't affect me. Because I'm not on the whole like train of like there's too many Fire Emblem characters, too many Sword characters. I don't care, dude. Like put as many characters as you want. As long as you add more Pokemon, I'm down.
Yep.
So add more Pokemon. But yeah.
There you go.
I don't think so, because I think that Sakurai hates working on this game but loves it at the same time. So he just wants to be done.
Yeah. I think if we get a second season pass, yes. I think if it's just this first one and then we're done, no. I don't think so.
No, I think people would riot if that was like the last DLC character. Even though I did make a joke about that in the video. But like I don't think so.
Alex Van Aken asks, what is the quintessential Game Boy game and why?
Pokemon. What's wrong
I
with
feel
you?
like
anyway, Alex Van Aken, I do want to say, before you go into your thing, he's from OKBeast. You should check him out. YouTube.com/OKBeast or OKBeast.com. They make podcasts and stuff, and they're way more structured than ours. Because like we riff and stuff like that. Yeah. And Parker tries to make it structured, tries to like keep me down, you know what I mean? But like a brick out of a cage. You know?
What can you do?
You should check them out.
True. But yeah, I think Pokemon and Tetris are the objective answers.
Yes.
Pretty much. So
100%.
There you go. Those are my thoughts. Max Wright, whoever that guy is, asking this as someone who's only been around a few months, what's your favorite game of all time and why is it so dear to you?
That changes a lot for me. Because I don't know, there's just different moods for stuff, you know? Like I would say like as far as like currently, like what, if I were to like if somebody said what is your favorite game right now, like what game would you pick to play over everything? It's Smash Brothers Ultimate. But I don't think that holds water in like the grand scheme of things in terms of like my life overall, like what game I would like think about the most, you know? The game that like when I'm not around my game consoles I'm thinking about and wanting to play.
I mean, and I don't even know if I wouldn't even answer it as that for myself at least. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, so my answer is
Breath of the Wild,
Pokemon Blue. Like those are up until
Pokemon Blue sucks.
Yeah. Dude. So Pokemon Blue, that was the first game that I played. I mean, so like, and I played it a billion times as a kid. So, you know, that's a thing. And then Breath of the Wild's is just a friggin' awesome game, and then but also was the game that got me back into, you know, gaming and, you know, and then some. So yeah, but also it's just such a good game. So I love it a lot.
In terms of like, you know, like the memories and all that sentimental crap.
Yeah, that's where it's
Pokemon Heart Gold. Pokemon Heart Gold is just the better Pokemon game. Because you could just do all the things, you know, like all the stuff that people are like, put this in the next Pokemon game, like add multiple regions, check. Let Pokemon follow you, check. You know, like making in Kanto, check. All the things that Pokemon fans want.
Yep. There they are.
So yeah, Pokemon Heart Gold, best game, the best one.
There you go.
But I mean, that said, and I've talked about this like with Justin, where Justin's like, you know, like Pokemon games haven't been like as good as they used to be, blah blah, all that dumb crap. I wouldn't say Pokemon has ever been like my game of the year, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not the type of game that, or at least like how it's made now, and like how Game Freak approaches game development.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, even though they're a freaking multi-billion-dollar company, they like approach it like this ragtag group of indies, you know, like we're just a couple of guys working on a thing. So like I think that holds them back from having this, like, you know, prestige piece. Like Pokemon's always good enough to be considered the bottom tier great, you know. I
think too, like
it's always like high to mid 80s. It's never 90s to 100.
Part of it is in the same way that Breath of the Wild was cool because it's like everybody has a different experience. Pokemon's sort of the same way, even though the like story beats are all the same for everybody. The Pokemon that you have and like having your team, like that kind of stuff is all different. So again, kind of like Fire Emblem Three Houses or whatever, where like, you know, you just got a different set of Pokemon, so you can choose to play it multiple different times and it'll just be fun. So it's one of those where like, even if the game itself isn't like a perfect masterpiece, it's just a fun experience to like have different Pokemon to try different stuff out with and all that stuff, that not a lot of other games have that same kind of element or whatever to it.
Yeah.
You know? So that stuff. And now questions from Discord. Last but not least, Grimhane asks...
You could join the Discord. If you go in the description and you click the Discord link, you'll get an invitation. If you got one,
Discord.
If you got Discord, come join and hang out and talk and whatnot.
Indeed. It's a good time. Grimhane, Chance, stream. Okay, but on a serious note, any updates on streaming? I'll help you steal Bob's PC if that helps.
So I gotta figure... Because, like, I've been, like... tossing around the idea of just buying like a dedicated PC for that, but I'm like looking around and seeing like what are the tech specs that I need and like that sort of thing. Even for Mac, my computer is more powerful than it would need to be to do what I'm trying to do. So I need to just like troubleshoot and like maybe take my computer to the Apple Store and figure out like what the problem is, because my computer is powerful enough to stream. It's not a cheap like entry level computer. So I just got to figure out what's going on with that, so like I can, like, it's less of a headache to do that. But once I have that all figured out, mostly it's to stream with other people, because like I could stream by myself, and that's something that I could do, and that like that works. But like it just doesn't make sense to do that, right? Because like I would be able to stream less, because I wouldn't want to stream the same time as Bob if we're not able to like stream together. Or Dan. So it's like that puts me in like this one window of like Wednesdays before Wolf Den Live, which it worked out for me as far as schedule goes. So like I'll probably do that day, but I would like to be able to like make it a thing of like, yeah, me and Bob stream Smash Brothers on this day of whatever month, and like me and Dan play whatever, me and Parker play, you know, like that would be cool. But we've got to figure out the technical side of that. So like if any of you guys work at Apple and want to like help me look at my computer, then let me know.
Indeed. And Huddy Bear says, yeah, you need to stream more often. That would be cool.
Yeah.
True.
Yep. I agree.
And then Grimhane again says, with Activision continuing their trend of adding microtransactions into games post-launch and after critics have weighed in on the game, how much longer do you think players will continue to buy their games day one? And then he has two more questions, but that one first.
I think it depends on what the game is. Because like people talk a big game about like, oh, I hate EA and like that type of thing, right? But then Apex Legends comes out, and then everybody loves EA. So like it's really dependent on what the game is. Nobody thought about like Call of Duty Activision when they were hype about Crash Team Racing or Crash Insane Trilogy or Spyro Reignited or whatever, right? So it really doesn't matter. They could do whatever they want as long as they come out with like games and franchises that people love. It doesn't matter.
I guess it also depends how you're playing these games, because like one of the examples, so the two that I know of that it happened with was to Call of Duty and then Crash Team Racing, where they put the game out, it got great reviews, and then they added in microtransactions later to it. So if you're the kind of person that's going to be playing that game the first couple months or weeks that it's out, and then you're like, all right, I'm done with it, you know, then actually that's probably the best time to play it, because there's not microtransactions, and apparently it's great without microtransactions, you know, like it reviews well and all that kind of stuff. So then at that point, might as well just go ahead and play it then. And not even worry about whether microtransactions are added later. On the other hand, if you are buying a game and expecting like, I'm going to play this for months to come and years to come or whatever, then yeah, that would be more of an issue because like, I guess something's missing and then, they add it in later or something like that. But if it's games that can be reviewed well without microtransactions, then adding those in obviously is it seems like they wouldn't be as imposing as some microtransactions in some other games have been, like in, I don't know, Shadow of Mordor or Star Wars Battlefront 2 or that kind of a thing. Battlefield, whatever, Battlefront. Yep. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like with those two examples, it sounds like it didn't really might as well have just gone in. But again, unless you're in it for competitive stuff, in which case that does suck because then later people have an edge on you if they pay for stuff. So that is kind of lame. So depends on how you're playing the games would be my guess on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think the masses give a crap about that. Yeah. Especially with that type of strategy, because like I think the biggest risk for like your shot at the masses is if the early adopters don't like it. Yes. But if you set it up so that the early adopters don't deal with the crap that they would normally complain about, then you're fine. Because then nobody's complaining about it. Everybody's happy about the game, and then the people that just kind of listen to like what the echo chamber says, they buy the game and then they buy the game and then they're happy.
Exactly. Yep, good point. So, and then Grimhaim also asked if you could pick any characters for the remaining 2 Smash fighters, who would they be and why? Reskins and additional Pokemon are excluded.
Why though?
I think one of them legit is going to be the Grookey Final Evolution. That's my solid guess for one of them, but I'm not going to say that for this because it wasn't allowed for some reason.
How dare you omit the Pokemon one? I saw the reskins and I was like, that's fine. And I just like once I saw the like reskins, I just like my brain canceled out the Pokemon one. It was like, nah, that one, that part of the stipulation here, that doesn't exist. I don't know, man. Who else do I want?
Honestly, there's not a lot more people that I specifically care about. I mean, maybe that's blasphemous or I don't know, but like most of the franchises that I enjoy right now are already in there. So hard for me to say, but like, I mean, I know other people would be happy. I mean, I'd love for Isaac to be
in the game.
That would be, yep. Or if Hollow Knight were in the game, I'll just go with that. It's not going to happen.
I didn't play that game, so
it's so good. But yeah, we'll say Hollow Knight. And who else?
And another Pokemon trainer. Make it Grookey's Final Evolution and make it freaking Sabl's Second Evolution and Scorbunny. That's what you do. Instead of Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard, you switch up the types evolutionary wise, and you do that. And this time, don't do color swaps. Give them hats and crap.
He'll be, and one of his costumes, he's just holding fish and chips because he's British.
Yep.
Because it's Galar. And then Grimhain also asks, why does Parker hate Pokemon? Where did Pikachu hurt him? If Pikachu hurts you, it's all over because electricity and your body, it goes through your body.
I mean, not if you're wearing rubber shoes.
True.
So,
or rubber gloves like Ash because he's sometimes smart.
Those are
most
lies.
Of the time it's not.
Wait, where did that even come from about you hating Pokemon?
Oh, that was at the end of Grimhain's question. That was the last one that he asked.
I know that, but I'm saying why?
Because I think because Pokemon Let's Go, because I didn't mention that at the beginning of my video and Fire Emblem and that stuff. Just a big... That's my guess in any case. Grimhain, correct me if I'm wrong.
You've just been saying all types of dumb stuff. First, he doesn't know what freaking NSO stands for.
I knew it.
Yeah, sure.
Crazy.
Sure.
I didn't understand what the question part of it was. It stands for
likely story.
Not super offensive. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's offensive for some people.
That's true. Striker XL asks, what house did you choose and why in the new Fire Emblem game?
I picked the white one. No, I picked freaking what is it called? Black
late.
Eagles.
I'm Golden Deer. That's the best one. Doesn't matter.
I picked
You're Black Eagle, you dummy. And because it's the best one, of course. We did already talk about this a little bit, so hopefully you got the answer,
I don't remember you saying why you chose the deer.
Yeah, it was just because I like the characters. They were like, they felt more quirky and varied or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just felt like they were kind of down to earth and without being like super solemn and stuff.
That's why I didn't trust freaking Claude.
Yep.
That's a name that sounds like an insult.
True.
His name is like Chad.
I just saw Chad yesterday. That's who I had dinner with, and I told him about that. I was like, "Hey, I put your name in a video," and people were like, "Hey, how come you used a meme name but didn't use it like the meme?" And he was like, "Yeah, not surprising." And he was like, "Cause it's a real friend of mine with that name."
Yeah, like his name is actually just that. Like,
that's just Chad.
What do you want me to do?
Oh man.
But yeah, no. That's a stupid name. And I'm sorry if that's your name. Blame your parents.
There you go. What do you think about the game versus the previous iterations of Fire Emblem? That is, so gameplay, music, story.
Yeah, Parker, what do you think?
Graphics, story. He said story twice. Well, I think that it is much more played by me than previous iterations of this game by infinite percentages.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
But yeah, I like it more, and like I can't say how I think it compares in terms of like story and all that crap,
right?
Because like I only played like 5 hours of whatever Fire Emblem games that I played, because like I played a little bit like a Game Boy Advance one, and I played like 5 hours of the freaking Awakening, and I played like less than an hour of Fates, and I freaking played minutes of whatever the last one was, Shadows of Valencia or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so no, I don't got a lot of opinions on those older games. I played them, but I didn't like them. I like this one though.
True. And then Striker also asked, what do you think about the voice cast and the game being almost fully voiced?
They're really good.
Yes.
And I hope that Pokemon also does that.
Absolutely.
It looks like they will, but like
it seems like if it doesn't, they've got some pretty misleading mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it, but no, that would be really disappointing. Not really disappointing, but like
no, I'm going to say really disappointing. Yeah. You know,
because like it's
take a stand.
Now is the time. You know, like if you didn't do it before, whatever, that's fine. But like now is the time to do it. So
freaking Breath of the Wild did it. Yeah, I mean Fire Emblem had voice acting for a while, but like they're doubling down on it. You can do it too.
Yep, exactly. So there you go.
And it's not even a good excuse to be like, there's so many Pokemon, because you're not voicing the Pokemon.
Right? Yeah, people. Exactly. It's just a bunch of people. So I do wonder, are the Pokemon still going to be? Yes. You know. Probably.
We already know that because we already heard them.
Oh, you're right. That's true. Yeah, I mean, which also makes sense because just languages or whatever, I guess. Because,
yeah, like Pokemon having different names and like
exactly. I've got a bunch of. So having grown up in Europe, I've got Pokemon cards in all sorts of different languages, which is
having not grown up in Europe. Yeah. I too have Pokemon cards in all different. Yes,
I didn't know that would be a thing over here, but yeah, sure enough, it's just like randomly I'll have, you know, like it'd be like Nidoran, Nidorino, Nidoking, and then Milufi for Clefairy, because that's
Charizard French. Has a real dumb Japanese name.
Oh,
it's Lizardon.
That's pretty dumb. Is that what it sounds like too? Like
no, he roars.
It's just okay. I mean, but like, is that the translation? Is Lizardon, or is that like Lizardon? Like that's just what
it's like that. It's like that.
That's great. Bagel Denizen asks, do you think we could keep the discussion on Rampart? It is Brooks Eccleston. I don't know what that question means.
I don't either.
I put it in here. I was like, hopefully AJ knows what this means.
Let us know what you're talking about. Like related. I can't even. I was gonna do the whole thing and show it to the camera, but I can't now because we don't got it. Rip, dude.
I don't know what thing you're talking about.
I got this.
Oh, you're right. Here. We don't have a camera. Yeah.
I got it.
It's a Pokemon Trainer Amiibo.
We don't got the camera, so you guys don't get to see it. Parker saw it. Maybe you see it in the video. I don't know. My head's in front of it all the time, so you don't see it probably. No. But I want to customize it. I want to make it me. So nice. Brooks was talking about he has an extra Isabel amiibo. He was like, I want to do that, customize it somehow. And I was like, me too. I want to do that with a Pokemon one, but like I don't trust me to do that.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think Best Buy near him had one or something like that. So he's going to see if he could do it, and it'd be dope.
That would be super cool.
And then I can freaking light my Pokemon amiibo aflame. No, I'll probably still keep it.
Yeah. Do you think the back half of 2019 is loaded with enough games for the Switch?
Nah, I think we could use like 20 more,
Whatever. I do wonder, there's a couple of little gaps that there's so much stuff, but there's nothing in December. There's there's a whole gap of the month of October until Luigi's Mansion comes out where I wonder if they put out anything, nothing first party, I'd guess, for October,
I don't think we'll get anything big
maybe for December
now and then. I think they see, honestly, I think that they probably, to Crunch Topher's point, he was talking about Animal Crossing. I think that they probably did think about releasing Animal Crossing in December. But then they were like, that would suck for people. Because there's not as much that you can do in the winter and all that crap. So.
Very true. And it just doesn't feel like a winter game, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of does because it's a winter. It is one, though. It switches up. It's not like it's summer all the time. I would say Splatoon is a game that doesn't feel like a winter game.
I guess I'm mostly thinking in the same way that Stardew Valley starts off in the spring, where it's here's we're getting started in the season that's starting things up, so starting in the winter would feel like
Animal Crossing as a summer game. I think Animal Crossing works well when you have time to play.
Yeah.
Even though it is a thing that you can jump in and play casually, but I think when you're first getting it just works well if you have a lot of time to dump in, and then as time goes on you can just jump in and check on the stuff that you already had going on, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Pull weeds and whatnot.
I sure do. But that is all the questions that you guys asked, and that is a longer podcast than sometimes we have.
Yup.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that it wasn't video.
Last second questions from Bob.
Nope. I was sad. I really liked the question last week, but I'm not going to answer it now. But I have thoughts on it, so I'll talk about it at a different time. But we've gone over, so that stuff.
Oh, Falcon said something. He asked another question. And I remembered because I was thinking, I was like, there was a question that just made sense to end the show off on. I gotta find it.
Was it on Twitter?
Yeah. He said, wait, not that one.
It was, do pineapples go on pizza? And why the answer is no.
Yeah, he said for hashtag fanatixfoods or something like that.
Yep.
Which is
because he asked it on mine.
That's I was looking the third channel. We're going to do it.
There you go.
You'll never know when, but it'll happen one day.
The answer to the question is pineapple does go on pizza.
I never had it, so I can't weigh in. It sounds gross, so I'm going to say
it's a weird thing. I definitely I didn't want to try it the first time, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I see that. And it's different for sure. And
who made you try it?
Maybe Ashley. I don't know. Because that was her favorite kind of pizza, at least for a while. I don't know if it still is, but
how dare she?
It's good though. So sorry about it, Falcon. You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I have a positive stance
Falcon
and AJ has no stance.
Falcon likes to cook, so Falcon knows about food.
Yeah, but has he known what it's like to be me and have my taste buds? I don't think so.
No comment. What do you think? Does pineapple go on pizza, or does pizza go on pineapple? Let us know in the comments down below.
Speaking the truth.
Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Say, hey friend, do you need a podcast in your life? I have one just for you. It's called Directly to You. It's on youtube.com/directly to you. It's on podcast services like iTunes and Spotify. Some Game Grumps fans call it spoofy because that's a meme. It's on Stitcher. It's on all of the things, so you should listen to it. Okay.
It is.
Goodbye.